who is our convener. We have Jonathan, who is our convener and also a Chevening scholar. So my watchword always is, if one man can do it, then every other man can. So if Jonathan could get could get awarded with the Chevening scholarship, then each and every one of us who applies themselves to getting it would be able to get it. So I'll let Jonathan introduce himself and the program to us. Yeah, Jonathan, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Susan, for opening the floor to the house. Um, so, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session and thank you to our speakers. So, before we go ahead, can we just drop in the chat where you are joining from? So, if you're in Lagos, Nigeria, if you're in Kenya, or if you're in Ghana, Cameroon, wherever you are. So, just drop it in the chat box and so we can see. And just also to encourage you guys to put like use the chat box and ask questions or just be I'm going to be selecting two people from this call who I'm going to be reviewing their essays. They're going to be working with me one-on-one, um, personal, just to review their essays and then give you advice, personal advice on how to structure your essays. That's if you have written it. So it's a random ballot, and I'm just going to be selecting. So it depends on how active you are on the call and how engaging you are. So that's so just like, oh, I can see some of us in the chat box. I can see from Lagos, Nigeria. Oh, Windhoek, Namibia. Okay, you're welcome. Abuja, Nigeria. Lagos. Adamawa, Nigeria. Kenya, Delta, Bamako, Mali. That's good. Abuja, Enugu, Nigeria. Kenya, Cameroon. Of Abuja, you have Uyo, you have Ibadan, Nigeria, you have Delta, Anambra, Nairobi, Kenya, we have Ghana. So we kind of like have like, I think, Susan, if I'm correct, like almost 5 countries that I just called in.
Yes, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining in to
Thank you. Thank you.
the session. So I will just be starting. Um, so just give me a sec. So I'll just be starting. So I just allowed Susan to run us through today's agenda, what we are going to be starting with, and what you hope to get, and each of the speakers what they're going to be speaking on, and then just the agenda for today. So Susan.
All right. So I forgot to mention, if you are not with your pen and your book, go, in fact, run, go and get it now, because you do not want to sleep on all of the wisdom you'll be getting today. So run, go and get your pen and your book now. So yeah, Jonathan is going to be introducing all we need to know, letting us know all we need to know about the Chevening Scholarship, what we stand to gain if you are a Chevening scholar, how to end, how to apply for the Chevening Scholarship and actually get it. And yes, we got tons and tons of questions about the essays. We have Jamil. Jamil is going to be telling us how to write a winning a is an essay that no one is going to be able to refuse. A head turning essay, a head turning leadership essay. So it is one thing to be a leader in your rights. It's one thing to be a leader in your field. Are you able to convince the next person that in actions and in truth you are a leader? So that is what Jamie is going to be doing for us today. He's going to be telling us how to write a winning leadership essay. And then we have Felix, who is going to be introducing us into what it is like to study in the UK. You know that, okay, so we have people from different parts of Africa, and I assure you that it's a whole different ball game studying and living in Africa and a whole different ballgame when you are studying and living outside of Nigeria and United Kingdom to be precise. So Felix is going to be giving us insight into that. Then finally we have Grace, who's going to be speaking to us on how to write a head turning networking essay. Do you get? Because the essay is everything. The essay is everything. That is what is going to open the door. It's what's going to open the door to get you into the interview, the proper oral interview. If you're not able to put together a an attention catching essay, then you are not even getting into the door. So if your appetite is not wet already, please go and drink water. That water should wet it, and then come back to get all of the juice we have packed for you today. So yeah, Jonathan, please start. Give us the end to end of that we need to know about the Chevening Scholarship and how to apply for the Chevening Scholarship. Over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Suzanne, for that very dramatic introduction. Introduction. So yes, so we are all gathered here to learn about Chevening and how you can put in a very good application, especially as regards applying to study an IT related courses. So like Susan mentioned, I will just be giving a general introduction for those who are not aware. So I know there are some couple of people who might not be aware of the intricacies about Chevening, what Chevening is about, what's the benefits, what you benefit you stand to gain, and all of those things. I mean, you are supposed to have done those research, but for just to refresh some of our memory and also to give you a first-hand overview of what it's about, I'm just going to be giving you a general introduction of Chevening, talking about the eligibility requirements and the benefits of the scholarship, the significance, and all those couple of other things. So actually, I didn't even prepare a slide because I wanted to be actually be very direct, and also I'll be speaking directly from the the Chevening's homepage. So that's what I will be sharing directly from, so that you can see that these are not my words, these are not my own conjurement. Because I've had a couple of people who say, is it possible to get a fully funded scholarship? I mean, you're literally getting paid to study. So that is literally what it means. Like you're literally getting paid to study. Like imagine receiving free money to study. So that's literally what the scholarship is about. And I know there are some reservations about whether it's possible to get a fully funded scholarship and all of that. I can tell you that all of our speakers today are people who have benefited from this scholarship, who have also gotten this scholarship, and then they will be also giving from their own personal experience. So before I start, my name is Jonathan. I am a cybersecurity professional. I got the Chevening Scholarship in 2022 to study cybersecurity in the UK at Cardiff University. I completed my master's. Usually, masters in UK is usually 1 year, so I completed my master's and did my graduation. And so that's literally basically summary about myself. So let me start with, because I just have 15 minutes. How did I find out about the Chevening Scholarship literally? So I think the first time I found out about the Chevening Scholarship was in 2018 or 19 thereabout. I was in Lagos, Nigeria, in Lekki at work, and I think somebody I just saw a post on LinkedIn about somebody, this I can't keep calm. I've been selected for the Chevening Scholarship. So I went to like look up what is Chevening. Of course, then I was actively, trying to like apply to graduate school, what next, and those kinds of things. And it was something I was interested in. So I went to look up what Chevening is, look up this person that got the scholarship, and then looked at profile, looked at what the requirements. I saw that I felt like I wasn't prepared at that point. I wasn't the kind of I wasn't the kind of um like I didn't have the attributes that Chevening were looking for, literally. So that was in 2019, and I finally applied in 2021. So when I looked at, then in 2019, when I looked at, okay, I am not qualified to I don't think I'm qualified. I mean, I meet the basic requirements like 2 years experience, having completed a bachelor's degree, being able to get an admission in the UK, those basic requirements, which I would also stick over. But I just felt like I haven't done enough of impact work that qualifies me to apply or makes me a strong candidate. So I gave myself like then I decided not to apply because it's not just applying. So I've seen a lot of people say they submit applications. So it's not just applying to do scholarships, also tailoring your application, making sure you are the right person for the application. So I didn't apply then 2018 and 2019. I 2020, I did some development work, I did some personal development work. Um, I did give myself a strategy. 2020, I felt like I was a bit ready, but I didn't put in an application before the deadline. So I gave myself more time to do a lot of more works um, to make me capable to make my profile very good for the scholarship. Then when I decided to finally apply in 2021, I felt like I was ready. Then starting the whole process of the application, writing your essays, doing research, and I was literally sleeping on the Chevening website. That is how much of research you need to do. Like I can't overemphasize the need for research. I was literally sleeping. I will sleep reading information on Chevening website. I'll wake up, continue reading, watch tons of YouTube videos on how to make your application strong, how to structure your essays, what is the star format. You know, I literally knew Chevening at the back of my hand. So that's kind of like I sometimes I see people who apply for Chevening today and you're not even willing to put in the work. Like you're not even ready. Like, are you even ready for this thing at all? Because it's not just something that they give you free money. You have to also put in the work because it's very, very competitive. Almost 60,000 people apply every year around the world. Even from Nigeria alone, over sometimes 8,000 people apply. And sometimes they just select less than 50. And that's like less than 1% of people. So it means that you need to put in the serious work. You need to put in the effort. So I did the research. I did everything. Started writing my essays. I, consulted friends. Also consulted people who have reached out to scholars on social media to get their insights and any tips that they could have basically on how to on writing your essays because those are the major things in the essay. So that's kind of like how. So then I submitted my application and here I am today trying to do the same for people, support people basically in IT sectors. And the reason why I decided to put up together this webinar is to support people who particularly want to study IT related courses because I've seen that over the years, I also had that misconception when I wanted to apply that I've not seen a lot of people, I've not even seen anyone who got Chevening to study computer science or to study software engineering or to study data science or cybersecurity or artificial intelligence or business analyst or IT courses generally. So it felt like it was mostly for the people in development. And when I mean development, I'm sure most of us know what's development like you know, um, hunger reduction, um, education, uh, doctors, nurses, those kinds of people in education trying to eradicate social works. Thank you. I saw the comment and thank you, Comfort. I felt like, it was more for people in social works, people who are doing social works, volunteering, community engagement. It was mostly because those are the kinds of people that were getting it then, like 5 years ago. Like almost every year, most of them were in development works. So I felt like that too. But I decided to just take the courage to apply, and I applied and I got it on my first attempt. So that's why I'm also putting up this webinar to also encourage people to also share tips and invite my friends at speakers who have also gotten it to study IT courses to share their own experience and particularly in studying an IT courses. So I will be sharing my screen to just run us through the application to just on Chevening website. I shared this link on the group previously on the WhatsApp group. So if you're not on the WhatsApp group, I think Susan will share the link in the chat box so you can join the WhatsApp group. Let's see. So I believe you should be able to see my screen. So this is from the Chevening website. You can see that this is from the Chevening website. I decided not to do any slides, just they will teach you stuff that's directly from the Chevening website. So you can see who can apply. Chevening enables outstanding emerging leaders. So they are very key on this emerging leaders or potential leaders from all over the world. So this is key. Do you consider yourself to be an emerging leader? You don't need to have done all the grandiose things or all the most big things. As long as you have done things that consider yourself to be a potential leader, to be an emerging leader, you are on the way to qualifying for the Chevening Scholarship. There's no such thing as a typical Chevening scholar. For those who are successful, those who are successful tend to have ambition. So, do you have an ambition? Do you have leadership qualities? Do you have a passion for influencing positive change in your communities, in your own country? If you think that you have these things, then you are fit. If you have ambition to be a leader, if you have ambition to be somebody in life, if you have ambition, passion to, you know, effect change in your community, effect change around in your country, then you are qualified. You're on the way to qualifying for the Chevening scholarship. So there's no any discrimination on all of those things. So that is what Chevening is saying about that. So let's move to the eligibility criteria, which is the main eligibility criteria. So to be eligible for the scholarship, aside from those other ones or ambition, and if you are of a person, if you are a potential leader, you must be a citizen of a Chevening eligible countries. So you can open this link to look at the Chevening eligible countries. But the most of the African and West African countries are eligible countries. You must commit to returning to your home country for at least 2 years after your scholarship ends. I'm sure many people will maybe drop off from this call because of this requirement, which is very important because if you looked at the previous link that I was talking about, it said if you are committed to effecting a change in your country, so how do you want to effect that change in your country if you don't want to come back and use the things that you have learned? So that is one of the key things of charity. You must be willing to returning to your country. This is also key. You must have at least 2 years of work experience or 2,800 hours of work experience. I'll get to that on how you can calculate your work experience and all of that. You must have an undergraduate degree uh, or a degree. So this is usually constructed to mean that you must have an undergraduate degree. If you have an HND, if you have what other degrees, maybe from Nigeria, from Africa, as long as your degree or whatever certificate that you have can get you into a UK university, then you are qualified. Because I'm sure some people might have these questions, or some of these questions might come up in the form, but that's why I'm addressing it here. As long as so it doesn't necessarily mean to have an undergraduate degree, because if you see, it says hold an undergraduate degree that qualifies you for a master's program. So Chevening is not particular about your undergraduate degree. It's not particular about what you got as a score. Either you're first class, either you're second class, either you're last class or third class. And there are people who have seen have gotten in Chevening and have taught class. They were able to do other things, community service, they were able to build leadership skills, do other that, and besides, Chevening is not about your grades. It's whether you have first class or you have last class, it doesn't really matter in Chevening. Chevening does not care. It's about, like I mentioned earlier, and you have seen on the Chevening website, being having potential to be a leader, having potential to influence people, influence change in your community or own country. Um, you're applying to 3 different eligible university courses. So you can open this link. So most of the courses in UK are eligible, but you can just open this link to view that. Let me just drop this in the chat um, so that you can maybe be following as you can see that it's directly from Chevening website. It's not from my slide or anything. You must receive an unconditional offer by this. So this also means that you don't need to have an unconditional offer before applying for a Chevening scholarship. But you need to know the schools that you would apply for because you need to write about them in your essays. But you don't need to have gotten an admission from those schools. In fact, right now you should focus on writing your Chevening application, and after submitting, then you can go and be applying to those schools. But you just need to know the schools, the 3 schools that you want to apply to, because the study in the UK essay, which one of our speakers will go deep into, you would require to write choose 3 universities and write about those 3 universities, why you want to go to those 3 universities. But you don't need to have gotten an offer right now. By next year, if hopefully you get to the interview stage, you should have gotten an offer, which is still like February, March, and then later in. So right now, focus on your Chevening applications, but just know the schools. You don't need to be trying to like get admission in the school or not right now. So if you are not, so these are circumstances by which you will not be eligible for the Chevening scholarship. If you're a British citizen, if you're a refugee in the UK, if you're an employee of the UK government, if you have previously gotten a UK scholarship and all of that. So now for work experience, how do you calculate your work experience? So you can, so somebody messaged me, I think this afternoon, and they didn't have the 2 years of work experience. So you might think you don't have the 2 years experience. It doesn't need to be in an office that's maybe a 9 to 5 job. You can see here, this can include full-time employment, which is a 9 to 5 job. Part-time employment, if you're doing part-time work, it also counts to your work experience. Even voluntary work, volunteering for organizations can also count to your work experience. Even if you have done internship, all those your tech internship that you did online, Ingressive for Good, Women in Tech, all those kinds of internship that you did online, that you work actually did work, or maybe Cyberlag, or maybe Cyber Save, or a couple of those internship, or even Cyber Save, even a couple of those ones. They have done internship. You can also count it as a work experience, and that you would match up to the 2 years of, because you need at least 2 years. So if you calculate these hours, it must meet 2 years or 2,800 hours of work experience. And look at then additional information is experience gained during your employment for your degree does not count. So things like your CWES, because your CWES counts towards your undergraduate degree. So it can't be used in this context of Chevening as a work experience because it counts towards your undergraduate degree. Because look at it here, experience gained during mandatory employment for your degree does not count. So CWES, CWES or your IT, undergraduate IT that you did maybe in 200 or 300 level, because it's mandatory, you are mandated to do it as an undergraduate student, and it counts towards your degree. It does not count as a work experience in Chevening's context. So I hope we are listening, we are understanding some of these things. If you understand it, please drop it in the chat box. Let me know that you're understanding and you're getting it. Um, so what to do? Okay, so this is for people if you're currently working, and then you can, if you get the Chevening scholarship, you can take a leave from work and all of that. So that is about work experience. So now I think I'll need to clarify about your work experience, that it doesn't need to be a 9 to 5 job. If you volunteer for an organization, or if do the paid or unpaid work for an organization, it can count as a work experience. So let me show you how you can count that work experience. So let me share a different tab um, on the right. So let me just share my entire screen. So I believe you should be able to see my screen. Okay, so this was the previous one. So now the main work ex. So now let's first talk about what does Chevening cover. Like getting the scholarship, what do you stand to gain? So look at, and you can see all of this information is from Chevening website. Let me also drop this on the group chat. I can see your chat. I can see your chat. Thanks everyone. Let me just, so that you can follow through. You can see that it's not from the slide. It's not from, this is from Chevening website themselves. Um, so what does Chevening scholarship cover? For those who are doubting whether they can actually receive a fully funded scholarship, I'm sure my friends here, Grace, Jamia, and Felix they will be able to explain more. Like, you can let me before I talk about the experience itself. Let me just read it from their website. Um, payment of tuition fees. I went to a very expensive school in the UK, and the school fees was about 25,000 pounds, and Chevening paid everything. I think Jamil, that school in London, the school fees was maybe probably above that. But the point is, Chevening pays all your school fees, regardless of how much it is, as long as if it's only capped if you are doing an MBA. But most people don't do that. It's only capped if you're doing an MBA, and if your school fees is above 22,000 pounds, I guess. Um, economic flight, economic travel to and from your country. This is your flight tickets when you are traveling So there's a mentee of mine who got the scholarship. I think two people got the scholarship last year. They applied last year. They got it this year, and one of them will be traveling, I think, in 2 weeks' time to the UK. So you can see, and which is fully paid for. Everything is fully paid for your flight tickets, direct flight on Virgin or British Airways. You can see that it's everything is paid for. They just send you the ticket. You choose the dates that you want to travel. In fact, you give them the date. This is the date I want to travel. They book your ticket. They send it to you with your name and everything. And all you have to do is pack your bags, go to the airport, show them your ticket, and enter your flight. So you can see that those are the benefits of Chevening. You get free money when you get to the UK. I think you get about maybe £700 or so free money for just coming to the UK so that you can balance. They give you that free money. Then cost of an entry, clearance visa. They pay for your visa fees. They pay for your visa fees. They pay for your IHS fees. Then there's also, this is departure allowance is different from arrival allowance. So you can see arrival allowance, departure allowance. Those are free money just for balance so that you can balance very well. You don't have to be struggling for money or anything. Um, they pay for your tuberculosis test. So this is a test, a medical test that you have to do when you are coming to the UK. It's compulsory for most people from African countries. They pay for it, for the fee for your tuberculosis test. And then even in fact, you see, this is free money. This is free money that they will give to you. It's not like like your school fees now. They pay your school fees directly to the school. They don't give you the money for your flights. They book the flights for you. But this one, they give it to you directly. Arrival allowance, they give it to you. Departure allowance, they give it to you. They pay it into your account. Travel top up allowance, they pay this one's into your account directly. Free money. You can see that to study, they're getting free money to study. And even aside from all of this one, you'll be getting it's just like NYC for those people who are from Nigeria, NYC, Alawi, we call it our Alawi within ourselves. You get monthly personal living to cover accommodation and living expenses. So they'll be paying you monthly in pounds to cover your living expenses, to cover your costs, to cover your accommodations fees. And sometimes, if you are prudent enough, you can even have some savings from it. This is even aside from all of this allowance. So you can see these things are directly from the Chevening website. It's not from a slide, it's not from anything. So those are some of the benefits of the Chevening scholarship. I think I've overrun my time and I'll just stop here. So that's the eligibility. So I just wanted to cover the eligibility requirements and the benefits of getting the Chevening scholarship. So I would hand over to Susan now to introduce the next speaker. Now we'll be diving into the essays. Thank you. I hope you've learned a lot.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Yes, you went over your time, but it's allowed. Okay, so I know Jonathan mentioned that annually Chevening receives about 65,000 applicants. I beg of you, do not let that scare you, because we have here today with us four scholars from Africa who got this scholarship. So if they could get the scholarship, by all means, again, if you apply yourself, you remember he mentioned how he was literally sleeping on the Chevening website. Have you done your research? Are you reaching out to people? Have you gotten people to review your essays for you? Are you looking out for volunteering opportunities, ways you can make impact in your society? These are things you can add to your essays. Are you doing all of these things, or you just want manner to fall on you, which is not going to happen? So now we're going right into the essays. The essays everyone is clamoring about. We are going to have Jamil come up now to speak to us about how to write a winning leadership essay. Again, Jamil is the CEO of Sahid AI and is a Chevening scholar who studied artificial intelligence. Again, not only those who are into social works or into the SDG are getting the scholarship. We have people who are in IT who are also getting the scholarship. So be warned, Chevening is not biased to IT related fields. So you have the floor, Jamil.
All right, thank you very much. Uh, I don't know, Jonathan, can you help me make a board a co-host? There is a participant on the call called board. That's my screen. I want to share the screen. So if you can help me make it a co-host. But before we do that, can Grace Susan has just mentioned, I studied Masters in Artificial Intelligence at University College London. And now I run an AI company called Sahel AI, building AI solutions for organizations. And if we can just go to the chatbot to just drop what type of course are you trying to study in the UK? Let's see if we have, let's see the kind of courses you want to study. TDOM want to study cybersecurity, education leadership and management, computer network, information systems management, or Olua, product design, Zuzi. Kohli want to study artificial intelligence. Kohli Shiwedu, okay. Cybersecurity as UCL, nice. Oil and gas management, computer science, Damilola about the mathematics, Tulua. Rene, cybersecurity and forensic IT, software engineering, okay, data science, cybersecurity, King, cybersecurity. Okay, so we have a lot of folks trying to study cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, SEM Namibia, okay, nice. Communications, Godwin JP, food sustainability, Bisola. We have AI for biomedicine. Okay, that's nice. AME. So are you doing that at UCL? Okay, so we have quite a lot of programs going on here. I think some want to study data science, AI, software engineering, computer science, cybersecurity. I think it's all around that. Yeah, that's great. Amy, you're studying. I think that was almost the program I studied. My own is artificial intelligence for sustainable development, but it is both in same computer science. So you do the same thing with AI for sustainable development. Just one module will be different if you go to UCL. Okay, so I will share my screen now and let's go through the
We already
leadership.
have UCL Connect here.
Yeah. So let's go through the leadership essay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I need to let me share it again. So what we want to do here is I'll just briefly give you a sample of how to write a leadership essay, particularly the format and the structure to follow. After that, I am going to then use somebody's, we are going to help someone write their essay. Not write the essay, like just one paragraph. Uh, okay, so you should see my screen now. Yeah, so the leadership essay, just like every other essay in Chevening, you should aim for, I'll say, 4 to 5 paragraphs. So you have about 4 or 5 paragraphs. And then the question is, what should be in each paragraph? 4 paragraphs or 5. Now, the first paragraph is the introduction. Second paragraph, one leadership example. Third paragraph, another leadership example. Fourth paragraph. So if you aim for 5 paragraphs, then you can have another leadership example in the third paragraph. But if you want just 4 paragraphs, you don't need to have a new leadership example in the fourth paragraph. And finally, you have conclusion. So basically, this is the structure. Now, like I said, this is not compulsory. You can just have introduction, leadership example 1, leadership example 2, and then conclusion. But if you want, you can have introduction, leadership example 1, leadership example 2, leadership example 3, and then conclusion. Another approach you could use is your introduction can come with a very short leadership example. It can be part of the introductory paragraph. Now, in all these paragraphs, there is one that is the most critical, and it is the introductory paragraph. This is the most critical paragraph here, because it's just like you are meeting someone for the first time. It is the first impression that will really dictate at the end of the day how the whole conversation will go. I remember when I was doing my final dissertation, and my project supervisor was telling me at UCL, he was telling me that before you write your dissertation, first of all, write your abstract. Before you do anything at all, write your abstract. And the question is why? Write your abstract because most times when students start their dissertation, they just go ahead, do the whole dissertation, write the whole chapters, and then when there is no more time, they are trying to rush the abstracts. Meanwhile, anyone reading your dissertation, the first thing they will read is your abstract, just to have a general idea of what you have done. So if that abstract is the one you now rushed, then it becomes a big problem because, like my professor said, if he has read somebody's abstract, he can figure out in his head, this is a distinction kind of work, or this is a merit kind of work. So if you put the poor quality into your abstract and then you do quality job in the dissertation, you have already put this person that is marking your dissertation in a mindset that, oh, this is like a merit kind of work. So the point is, you need to put a lot of work into writing your introduction. I'm not saying others, you must, of course, the whole essay must be great. That's the whole essay must be great, but your introduction must be superb. And I see some of the mistakes that people make. One is that you start your essay saying, hey, when I was growing up, we were 12 people in the room. We did not have toilets, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, Chevening is not interested. It's not a poverty alleviation program. You can see when Jonathan was reading what Chevening Scholarship is. It's for emerging leaders. It's for people who can take initiatives. It's for people who have strong leadership and academic background. It's so if you are coming to say, hey, I did not have we did not really have enough clothes, maybe if you go to Mastercard Foundation, you can get a scholarship from there, but that will not work for Chevening. Don't start. It's not a pity game. It's about merit. What can you bring to the table? Because it is an investment. And that's one of the reasons why I say, okay, come back home after your master's degree. So it is an investment, and you must demonstrate that you are worthy of that investment. And because even though, like I think Jonathan said about 65,000 people applied last year. In Nigeria, for instance, I think there were about 14,000. I don't know. Okay, I think that was 2020, 2022. Those that applied in 2022 was about 14,000 plus. And eventually they selected about 40 something. Now, the thing is, we have about 106 people here on the call. Unfortunately, not everybody will get it. But the reality is that we should have a decent percentage number of people here who can get the scholarship. And the best way to get the scholarship is to have a solid essay at the beginning. And then once you get to interview, it becomes a little bit easier because now you are competing with lesser number of people. So I have given you the structure for the leadership essay. Introduction, you either have 4 or 5 paragraphs. If you have 5 paragraphs, then maybe you can have 3 leadership examples. If you have 4 paragraphs, you can still have 3 leadership examples if you have 4 paragraphs. And then you can use one small example in your introduction, then 2 solid examples for these next 2 paragraphs. Then the final, paragraph will be the conclusion. So how do you write each of these paragraphs? Let's talk about these paragraphs. Leadership example, maybe 1, 2, and 3. If you want to write these paragraphs, you should follow what we call the STAR approach. And I think some also had something to it called HELL. They had something called HELL. Now, the STAR approach is situation, task, action, result, and then some people recently they had what you call lesson. Now, the point with using the STAR approach is this: you want someone to follow your essay, and you don't want to just. One of the mistakes that I see a lot of people make whenever I review people's essay is that they they tend to. Many people have a lot of content, and then they find it difficult trying to put this into a good structure. That is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Now, I can see someone putting in the chat box regarding the, I think maybe number of words. Even though this person is saying 100 to 500 words, the thing is this: don't let your essay be less than 400 words, and then it should not be more than 500 words. So even though they are saying, oh, you can write as small as 100 words, I don't think you can communicate anything strong with 100 words. So your essay minimum should be 400 words. In fact, I advise people to be around 450 to 500. Although I remember one of my essays was 432 words. Anyways, so situation is what actually happened? Like what was the reason why you did a project? Like, for instance, maybe the issue is that we are trying to work on a project in my company now. So you have there are artificial intelligence has several risks. Like you've got privacy issues, you've got bias in AI systems, you've got existential risk, AI alignment. So these are the risks, and then you do not have enough people with AI governance expertise. That's a problem. So situation is more about you talking about the problem. What is the problem? Now, if you have identified this problem, how do you want to solve it? What do you want to do to solve this problem? So maybe you want to then organize a capacity development program to increase people's capacity in AI governance. So you you what do you want to do to address the problem? The actual thing that you did, what you actually did, the action that you took to do that problem. Maybe you now say, okay, so action is just straightforward. Action is action. And then the results, maybe you can put some numbers into this. Okay, we were able to now train 50 lawyers to become AI policy analysts, AI governance experts and all of that. And then you can talk about if there is any lesson at all. That's why I put this in green. It's not really compulsory. If there is any lesson, you can talk about the lesson. If there is none, then there is no need. Now, I would like to just take one example with somebody on this call. So can we have who can we pick? Who can we pick? Can we have Amy who wanted to study AI for biomedicine at UCL? Yes. So Amy, are you able to unmute yourself and speak? If not, can you please briefly just make her, so her name is AIRMIEE. If you can.
Hi.
Okay, yeah, good. So Amy Ekong, I'm suspecting you are from Akwa Ibom State.
Yes, I am.
Okay, nice. Since I have seen Ekong, the Nigerian footballer. Okay, so you want to study artificial intelligence for biomedicine.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about leadership example. Do you have one? First, are you comfortable, with us using you as an example?
Yes, I don't have any issues. So,
Okay, fine, good. So Do you have any example of a time where you know do any leadership, you took any leadership initiative or you're a leader?
Okay, yes, I do. I was my class director of academics during my undergraduate years.
Okay. Is that the only one you got?
Yes, that's the only one. I have something I wrote out. Can I share it on the group?
No, not yet. So the mistake I see people make is that there are some things that maybe it's a leadership role, but you didn't even know that it's a leadership role. I remember during my time when I was writing my essay, one of the examples I eventually used was that in my community we wanted to make political office holders accountable, sort of organize political debates, try to address policing issues, police issues of police brutality and all of that. And then I just created a WhatsApp group to bring young people together, added young people to that WhatsApp group. And then we started, just from the WhatsApp group, we organized a political debate, online debate, invite people aspiring to become maybe members of the National Assembly and interview them on that group. Something as small as that, that's you demonstrating initiative, demonstrating that you can lead, you can start something new, make pioneering efforts. So it doesn't have to be, you know, you having a designated position and say, okay, you are the director of this, or you are the country manager of so so so. You don't have to have a specific position allocated to you. It can be, something as small as that, right? And another thing is sometimes I I I always advise people not to use examples from their university. That's fine if that's the only thing you've got, right? But if you have other examples, I think the first thing you should even do when you're writing your leadership essay is to write down all the possible leadership examples that you can think of. All the possible leadership examples you can think of, rank them and pick the top. Make sure you are putting your best foot forward, right? So if you cannot find any stronger example, then maybe you can go ahead, go back to your university and pick one. Uh, so yeah, let's go ahead. Amy, you were director of academics. So what
Yes.
what problem did you solve? What was there? Let's start with a situation problem. Did you identify any problem? Did you do anything?
Yes, that was the unavailability of class material to students on time. More
Unavailability of
like,
material. Okay. And
yeah, so that was the situation.
so is this connected to AI in any way?
No, it's not, but
Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. So the problem is unavailability of class material, no class material. Susan, can you please let me know how many minutes I have left?
You have 10 minutes left.
Okay, good. Thanks. Now that's the problem. No class material. And what was the task for you? What did you plan to do?
I planned on making these materials accessible.
Make class material accessible. Now, what was this class material all about? For which particular course? Or it was just
For,
general
for all our courses, we
for
had
all
9 courses. Yeah.
for all courses? Okay. And what was the action? What did you do?
So the action was that I created a Google folder and I updated the notes regularly. A shared Google folder.
Okay. And updated the notes.
Yeah, regularly.
And what was the result?
So the result was that for our graduating set, we had 60% pass of cleared
What was
students.
the what was the previous pass rate?
So far, our class, we've had the highest pass rate. Like our
Or
my
you don't know,
graduating
you don't
set,
know the
we had
figure
the
of the previous set.
Yes, I don't.
Okay. But it is higher than the previous set.
Yes.
Okay. Now you have one leadership example, right? Now, how you just now need to turn this into a paragraph. You need to turn this into a paragraph. And how you can do this is just the problem is that, okay, when I don't know, was it your final year or penultimate year?
I served for 3 years. That was
Pardon?
my post for 3 years. So this happened like in my
Okay.
second year. Uh,
Okay, so you can just start by saying when I was director, when I was director of academics in my department, I realized that most of my colleagues did not have access to class material for all our courses. So that was the problem. You start with that paragraph, I mean, with that statement, and then I decided I'm going to fix it by making class materials available. Now, I therefore created a Google Drive folder and made sure that I updated class notes regularly and even collaborated with, let's say, about 5 other students who also have up-to-date notes. And at the end of the day, we realized that we achieved 60% pass rate, which was higher than previous cohorts in our department. So you can frame it that way. Now, my suggestion for you is if you are going to use this example, like I said, this is in no way connected to what you want to go and do now in the UK, like AI for biomedicine, right? Usually, when you use leadership example, I also use an example that is not in any way connected to AI. Like I told you, the example of creating a WhatsApp group. I didn't call it a WhatsApp group. I call it the name of the group, right? It's a political group. So I created a WhatsApp group to bring young people together to then organize debates and all of that. That has nothing to do with AI, to be honest, right? But it shows that you can demonstrate initiative. Now, when you use that one example that is not in any way related to AI, you should then find one example that is related to what you're going to go and do. It may not be AI, it may be biomedicine. It can be related to medicine. So it doesn't have to be related to AI, it can be related to medicine. Just make sure you have an example that relates to what you want to go and study in the UK as part of your leadership example. In my own case, I said my career goal is to use artificial intelligence to advance human capital development, to advance education in Nigeria. So the second leadership example I used was on using doing digital education academy. I was the country manager of HP Idea then, HP Innovation and Digital Education Academy. So you can see that one was about using technology to advance education. And what I said I want to go and do in the UK is study artificial intelligence. And after I'm done, I want to use AI to improve education. So make sure that one of your examples, at least one of your examples, must be related to whatever you want to do studying. Because that's what we demonstrate that you have been doing this before. Like it's not that you're just doing it now. So if you do not have any leadership example related to AI or biomedicine, then it will feel like, so why do you want to do this course now if you have not done anything related to it at all in the past? So alternatively, assuming what you want to go and study is just purely artificial intelligence, it's not even written as artificial intelligence for biomedicine, it is just artificial intelligence. Okay, that's also fine. And you've not done anything related to AI in the past, then you can create a goal for yourself that relates to what you have done in the past. So you can just say, okay, fine, you are doing AI, but your AI is, the reason why you're doing AI is because you want to use AI. What do you do now? Okay, let's pick someone else. Thank you very much. Hear me. Let me just pick, let's pick a man now. Uh, who should we pick? Who should we pick? There is one. Okay, let's pick Junior Bazia. T-Dom Junior Bazia. I think you want to study cybersecurity, right? Can we please make him co-host? So after you, I just wrap it up. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, T-Dom.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah. So I was talking about, yeah, what did you want to study?
I want to study cybersecurity.
Okay, good. So what you want to study is simply cybersecurity, right?
Yeah, cybersecurity or information technology with cybersecurity.
Yeah, everything is around cybersecurity.
Yes,
So
yeah.
now, and what is your goal?
My aim, my goal is to ensure that um ensure that because Nigeria has been rated as one of the top African country that is engaged in cybercrime. So my goal is to go to the UK and study there and come back and use the knowledge that I have acquired there to fight against cybercrime, to
Okay,
erase
so
cybercrime.
you want to study cybersecurity so that you can then
Yes,
address the issue of cybercrime, corruption in
yeah,
Nigeria.
yes, sir.
Now, good. So this is what you want to study. You
Yes, sir.
want again, one thing that we should mention, when Jonathan was saying that many people thought they cannot study IT courses because, oh, maybe Chevening will not give them, any award to study IT. The thing is, you can use IT for development. You can use IT for anything, right? Because
Yeah, yeah,
when you're writing your essay, and I remember this, you need to make sure that you tie your essay to one of the priority areas of the UK government in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Cote d'Ivoire, whichever country you're coming from.
yeah,
You need to look at the UK British High Commission in your country and find what their priority areas is in your country. In Nigeria, I remember they have something around the late child crisis, around the healthcare and well-being. I think maybe education and human capital development, something around those lines. And there are about 6 of them. So you need to make sure that whatever you are doing is somewhat related to one of the priority areas of the UK government in your country. But hear me,
yeah,
the priority area that you'll be tying your essay to will be the healthcare and well-being area. For you, you'll probably use the security. So the point is make sure that whatever course you want to go and study, even if it is AI, if it is data science, if it is cybersecurity, if it is advanced energy, digital energy systems, whatever you want to study, make sure you are relating it to one development area, one of the priority areas of the UK government in Nigeria. So I did
okay,
AI, and my goal is AI for human capital development, for education. In your case, you want to do cybersecurity, and your goal is to apply cybersecurity to address cybercrime and corruption in Nigeria. For
yeah,
him, she wants to study artificial intelligence, and the goal is to, use it for biomedicine and healthcare, whatever in Nigeria. So the point is, even if you have not done cybersecurity before, and what you have done is maybe you have worked with an organization fighting corruption in Nigeria, you know that okay, your goal is somewhat related to that, and you want to study cybersecurity to achieve this goal. So even if you have not done AI before, but you want to use AI for education, at least you should have done education before. So yeah, this is just the structure for the leadership essay. Just to quickly recap, you have introduction. So your introduction should be quite brief, should be again, don't do there are some things that you call bullshit. Like maybe talking about your story. When you were young, you did not have water, you did not have good sleep. Those things, that's waste of time. You are wasting the person that wants to read you're wasting the time of the person that wants to read your essay. Just go straight to the point and talk about the real thing. This is the issue in this country. And over the last few years, I've made deliberate efforts, leveraging the United Nations SDG Goal 4 or using Africa Agenda, blah, 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 towards making pioneering efforts in this area. This is how I have done it. Leadership example. Simple. And with that, you can have a solid essay. So then your conclusion should be you now talking about, okay, again, also very, very brief. Your conclusion should be around, okay, now with all I have done, I believe I am now in a good shape to go study this so as to do this when I come back to Nigeria. And that's it. You have your leadership essay. So thank you. I don't know if anyone asked. I think we will later have a question session, right? So there is no need to ask question now.
Yes, at the end of the session, we would take questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Jami. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This was really, really eye-opening. And my key takeaway from this, it might sound cheesy, but I just realized the fact that many times when we want to apply for stuffs, whatever it might be, they would say, um, answer this question in a minimum of 100 words, 200 words. And many times, I am guilty of this. Many times we'll just try to write and pass that mark. Let me just pass the mark of 100. Let me just pass the mark of 200. But from your session today, I've realized that that is one of the downfalls. That is one of the downfalls of us not getting all of these applications. So please, and please, as much as possible, as you have said, make sure that your essay is between 400 to 500 words, highlighting um, your key achievements, your key leadership achievements. And again, the introduction really, really important. If you want me to spend say 10-15 minutes reading an essay, I need the first three sentences needs to capture my attention. If the first three sentences is not able to do that, then you've lost the reader already. Do you understand? So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate. Now we are going to be bringing up Felix, who is going to be telling us what it is like schooling in the UK, what it is like studying, what the education system is like in the UK. It is I assure you it is
Sorry.
very different from what it is like in Africa. So Felix, you have the table. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Can you
Hi.
inform me if you get me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'm really delighted to be part of us, and I'll be speaking on how we can write the study in the UK essay. So I'm going to share my screen while um, getting set. Yes, please just let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes, so I'm really, really grateful for this opportunity, and I'm really thankful to my friend and partner for this wonderful opportunity, Mr. Jonathan. I mean, we really had a wonderful experience in the UK, and we have really worked on so many projects, I mean, in the same field, and I really appreciate your support. And also to my fellow Chevening scholars who are part of this really wonderful initiative. So I'm going to be speaking on how we can write the Study in the UK essay, which I believe is a really essential component of the Chevening scholarship application. And so about myself, my name is Felix Omengia. I'm actually from Cameroon, and I'm award-winning tech entrepreneur. I'm also cybersecurity professional. I studied for cybersecurity and forensics from University of Westminster in London. And back over the years before Chevening, I've really done some incredible work in Cameroon, and you can see some of the awards which we're able to win as part of what we're able to do. Yes, so the Chevening is all about is program by UK government, which is awarding outstanding future leaders to study for fully funded postgraduate studies in the UK. And I believe that Chevening is open to every young person who really has leadership potentials or who aspires to be a leader. And just like my friends have really said, Chevening is really an amazing opportunity for you who have leadership potentials or for you who is aspiring to be a leader. And I really had a wonderful journey in the UK. And I mean, just like every other scholar, Jonathan and the rest. And I believe that it was as a result of how prepared I was and how much I really wanted to have from this opportunity. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I was able to study for my dream course at top UK university, which was cybersecurity forensics. I was also social media ambassador for Chevening, and not only Chevening for my school. And you know, Chevening is not only about academics as many people feel. So I was able to attend over 30 Chevening events because aside from going to school to study for your courses, you have access to professional events. And these events, you get to volunteer and you really get to enjoy life in the UK as an international student. Yes. So I also had a vast travel experience, for example, traveling across the UK and cities, and also attended the 2023 Commonwealth Day in the presence of the royal family. And also I was speaker for the Chevening orientation. And usually this event is for welcome event for every year and usually welcomes all the usually 1,500 scholars. Yes, so now for the study in the UK, you have to, first for the question, you have to outline why you have selected your chosen three university courses and explain how this relates to your academic or professional experience and your plans for the future. Please do not duplicate the information you have entered on the work experience and education section of this form. So basically, this is the question which you have for study in the UK. And my approach is simple. You have to do research of the course. And I'm going to show us how, for example, you are able to select your course. For example, there's a tab on the Chevening website, which, for example, if it's cybersecurity, you're able to see the various schools. It's so easy to have your course. You're able to see the various schools that offer cybersecurity, and you are able to have some information about these courses. So you have to explain how each of your courses aligns with your past academic or professional experiences. For example, don't study health sciences and then you are coming to do geography or something really different. So it has to be something which is related to your past experience. For example, in Cameroon, I did computer engineering, and at the master's level, I really wanted to go into maybe cybersecurity or go into something which is more professional. And based on the fact that I did computer engineering, I had like the foundation to do either data science, cybersecurity, or whatever field I really wanted to do. Yes. So you have to research about your courses and you have to show commitment to learning. For example, you have to show that your pursuit for knowledge is ongoing because people have their undergraduates in, let's say, 2010, and then 10 years after they are coming for Chevening, it's okay. Because normally Chevening is for people who have worked for so many years, for example, and then they are coming to get expertise in a particular field. And so, like I said, you have to show commitment that you want to learn, and you have to mention relevant courses, certifications, for example, or experiences which you have taken to prepare for the opportunity. And lastly, you have to tell why the UK. For example, when I was writing my essays, my mentors usually tell me to praise them. Yes, praise Chevening. So tell them why the UK. You have to tell them that the UK is one of the best in terms of learning and academia across the world. And the UK is also home to one of the best universities. So this is how you can really convince and praise them that, yes, this is why you want the UK. You have to discuss unique academic strengths of the UK institution and how they will provide you with the tools and the every resources which you need to achieve your goals, because these schools, they have everything. And so basically, how can you write the essays? So the first paragraph, for example, can be opening sentence, and then you can just include. I'll show an example of some lines from my actual essays, which got me the Chevening Scholarship, just for some examples. So your opening sentence should include maybe your selected schools. Okay, I've selected University of Cambridge, Oxford University, University of Manchester, and you can give the reasons, but it should just be brief. And then the second paragraph, you can discuss, for example, your first choice school and course, and then you can highlight maybe you choose this course because it's ranked first in the UK in cybersecurity, it's ranked first in the UK in terms of entrepreneurship, and then you discuss, you can also add 2 or 3 modules. I mean, writing all of this shows that you really did research about your course. And then the third paragraph, for example, you can talk of your second choice, maybe mention academic leaders. For example, I did research, I even mentioned the course leader, and I said, I want to meet with Dr. This because given his experience of work in the UK, I feel that as an innovative leader in Cameroon, as an emerging leader in Africa, connecting with Dr. Paul, for example, is going to help me to achieve my goals. Yes. And also you can talk about the city. I schooled in London, so you can tell them that, okay, London is home to club countries like Chelsea, Arsenal, and then aside from school, maybe you want to visit these football houses. So it's also okay to talk about this in
Sorry,
your
Felix.
classes. Yeah.
Sorry,
Uh,
sorry to cut you short. I think some people are saying they can't see your screen. I can see your screen, but it's
uh,
okay.
uh,
Please, if you can see Felix's screen, can you drop it in the chat, please?
Yes, we can see. So I think they should leave and rejoin the call. They will see the screen maybe.
Yeah, okay. So
okay,
some people
okay,
can see your
okay.
screen. So you can go ahead, Felix. Thank you.
Yes, so then the fourth paragraph, you can talk about your third choice. For example, the ranking. You can mention 1 or 2 models. For example, in cybersecurity, I was able to say that, okay, for example, we'll do hands-on practicals, we'll have lab sessions, we'll have introduction to cybersecurity, introduction to forensics, and also just mention other components which you feel that is relevant to the school or institution. And in the fifth paragraph, you can do a conclusion and how you feel that the masters you are actually aiming for is going to be of support to your country. Yes, through the partnership with the UK, which is Chevening Scholarship. Yes, so for this was actually second paragraph of my essay. You can see I was able to choose, for example, Masters in Cybersecurity at University of Aberdeen. And given that increasing need to protect systems and institutions. And then I selected this course because, so you give a reason why you selected this course. It could be MSc entrepreneurship, it could be global health. So you have to give a reason why you actually selected the course. And this information, like I will show us, is actually found on the Chevening website when you actually find your course. You can give reasons why you feel that this course is relevant, maybe to Nigeria, to Africa. And yes, and just like I mentioned about the facilities on campus and joining other community of students in the school, this is how you can really pick out some information which is key about your school, and you really add to the paragraph about your respective institution. And of course, you can do this for your second school and your third school. Now um, let's look at the Chevening find course tab. So for example, yes, so before beginning, for example, okay, let's go with data science, for example. Now you can search this based on all regions, that is all universities within the UK, which is actually offering data science. Or for example, you want schools in London which are offering data science, but I really want that you diversify your search. For example, one of my schools was in Aberdeen, for example. One is in Scotland, one in England, and then maybe one in Wales. So you see that you have multiple options. Yeah. And when you search, for example, yes, so you see that we have schools schools offering data science, for example, University of Aberdeen. There are so many options that you have. So it's left to you now, for example, to choose. Maybe you want University of Manchester, you want University of Aberdeen, you want University of Westminster. And for example, let's say we choose Cardiff University, for example. So you see that you have information about the course. Yes, so you see that you have somehow a summary about the course. And for example, you can copy this and then you easily fit into your essays. It's very accepted. And then also you have information about the school itself, and then you can view the profile of the school. So this is how you can actually develop your study in the UK essays. So I feel that I've been able to touch most of the components on how you can actually write the study in the UK essay, and just general tips before we go to questions or the next speaker, and then coming back to questions. You have to start your application early. Yes, I remember Chevening, usually the application process is 3 months, but people who actually start early, they have opportunity to really, see every week you see that you can add something to your essays, you can make it better. So see how you start your application early. And I usually recommend that you use a Word document, for example, to write your essays. Yes. So write your essays in Word document, and then once you are ready to submit, maybe a month to the deadline, you just copy and then you paste to the system. Because sometimes you can make a mistake on the system, and then you see that you are submitting your application with that mistake. And also show impact when you are writing your essays. See how to showcase your leadership, your networking skills, your abilities, and just show impact generally for the entire essays, be it the leadership, be it networking, and show how you really aspire to have the Chevening scholarship, and how this is really going to impact your work back in Nigeria. It could be back in your country, back in Cameroon, and across Africa after you return from the scholarship. And you have to be unique. Yes, because over in our year, we had close to 65,000 applications. So you have to see that you are unique. Even if 10 people are applying to cybersecurity, there's a way that you can actually distinguish yourself from, for example, from the Nigerians who are applying to the same course as you. So it's very, 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 very much possible. And lastly, never give up. It took me 2 years to get the Chevening scholarship. And my first attempt was in 2021, and that year I got to the interview stage, but I made so many mistakes, and till today I still remember the mistakes that I made. But I'm happy that I was able to go through. I was invited for interview in the following year, which was 2022, and I was able to go through. So I'm happy that we're able to learn a lot, and I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you so much. Um, one key word that resonates with me, which Jamie also touched on, is the importance of research. So you do not want to go to a school and in your essay it seems as though you know nothing about the school. And also name dropping, the fact that he was able to name drop the name of a professor or a lecturer he wanted to work with, told the person reading the essay that he has done his homework. Do you understand that he went out of his way? Not many people are going to do that. Went out of his way to get more information than what is available on the internet about the school you wanted to go to. So thank you very much. Quickly moving on, we are going to have Grace come up now to speak to us on how to put together a winning networking essay. Yeah, please, Grace.
So, hi Susan. So I'm not sure Grace is available. at the moment because I think she just texted me now that she's just leaving work. So we can
Oh,
postpone our session till after. So we can take the career plan essay now. So I will just anchor that, and then after that, hopefully she'll be available before we take questions. And
all right. All right. That's great.
all right, so let's just take the career plan. So the career plan essay, as we all know, I mean, like for Chevening, you're required to write four essays, which is your leadership, networking, and study in the UK, and career plan. So leadership, which is what Jami already touched on, networking, which is what our third speaker Grace was going to touch on, and the study in the UK, which Felix was just finished speaking on, and career plan, which is like the holy grail. I feel career plan is like the holy grail of Chevening essay because it's kind of like where you are required to dream big, what kind of goals you want to achieve. So there's no one particular speaker that's going to be dissecting the career plan. So we are all going to, all the speakers, we are all going to be touching on the career plan. So Jamio and Felix, um, okay, let's see. So can you, I don't know, Jamil, if or Felix, anyone that wants to go first, like just give us overview of the career plan, your thoughts on the career plan, and any application tips that you get. So I'm just going to be asking questions to two of you for the career plan, and then you can share any relevant information that you have.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you can just go ahead, like touch on the career plan, structure, formats, anything that you want to say. Like, just briefly intro to the career plan, then I'll ask more questions later.
Okay, yeah. So just to make it very brief, the career plan I think should be like 5 paragraphs, three main paragraphs, and then you have the introduction and the last paragraph, which is the conclusion. You can also make it 4 paragraphs. You can have the introduction and then 3 other main paragraphs. Now, what you want to do there is after your introduction should be introducing what your career plan is. Like, for instance, if you want to use cybersecurity to address cybercrime in Nigeria, so introduce that in the introduction. Then you have the next paragraph, which is going to talk about your short-term goal. And you can put a number of years to this. You can say the first 3 years upon your return to Nigeria, or the first 5 years after your return to Nigeria, or to Cameroon, or to Cote d'Ivoire. You are going to do this. Then go to the next paragraph should be maybe 5 to 10 years. That should be midterm goal. And then finally, you have the long-term goal, which should be 10 years and beyond. Now, that should be the structure. First paragraph, second paragraph should be short-term goal, third paragraph should be midterm goal, the next one should be long-term goal. So you can use that long-term goal to conclude it or add an additional conclusion paragraph, which should be also very small, very short. So in each paragraph, when you discuss your goal, you should talk about one thing that is very critical, very, very critical when you discuss each of the goals in your career plan is to connect that thing to what the UK government is doing in Nigeria. For instance, if you are going to do artificial intelligence to advance education, then once you mention it, maybe you mention what you want to do the first 5 years you are back to Nigeria, then you can quickly ship in the fact that the UK government has a program, Partnership for Learning for All Nigeria, plain program, to which the UK government has committed so amount of money. Now, this particular goal you are going to do in the first 5 years, your career goal, will be in support of that program. Like, you will also be helping you'll be helping the UK government towards actualizing their goals. Go to the next paragraph, which is the next 5 to 10 years, talk about what you want to do. So, and then when you talk about, I think career goal essay is one where you should have no problem writing your career goal essay because it's about the future. Same thing with studying in the UK. It's about the future. It's not something you have done before, really. It's about you talking about, so you can be ambitious. You are just making everything up based on what you think you want to do in the future. You may end up not doing these things, but the reality is this is your plan for now. This is what you want to do when you get back to Nigeria. So, or you get back to Cameroon. talk about it, short-term goal, mid-term goal, and long-term goal. And then you can have one paragraph to tie everything together. Like I said, the most critical thing is to make sure that you connect whatever goal you have to the UK government priority area in your country. Like, what exactly is the UK government doing in your country? And that is what will make them understand that, okay, this person is worthy of our investment. So when he comes back, he is going to make judicious use of our investment. He's going to be doing something related to what we are doing in each of our country. So that's just the brief I will say about the career goal. Maybe Felix or Jonathan can come in now.
All right, yeah, thank you very much. That's a very succinct structure on how to go about your career plan. Your career plan is where you need to dream big. I mean, for example, myself, I said I wanted to be, I think my long-term goal was to be like the Minister of ICT. So that's kind of like, so that's just to give you an idea of the kinds of examples that you can give. You need to, so you want to put a balance between dreaming big and making sure that that big thing is achievable, which you have to also give like step by step or like a valid path to get to that dream. So, Felix, I'll come to you. Where you are comfortable, can you maybe if you can share some of your short-term goals or mid-term goals or long-term goals, to just give an example for everyone, like any one of those goals you are comfortable sharing, and how were you able, how did you write it in your um, in your in your essays?
Yes, so I think for me, you have to have clear, ambitious goals. And I think I told him that for my short-term goals, I use years to actually label the impact or the duration because this has to be measurable. So I said, upon return from the UK, upon return from the UK, the first 2 years, maybe I want to work with the government to see how to protect systems, do campaigns, awareness for cybersecurity. And usually for medium term, I think it's I said 5 to 10 years. And then the long-term goals now was 5 to 10 from 10 years above. So this is how you can actually measure your impact. And just like I wrote here for the tips, you have to outline your short-term goals, your medium-term goals, and your long-term goals. And you have to ensure that these goals are specific and measurable. They should be able to see that when you come back from the UK, you want to work with the Ministry of Health in Nigeria, Ministry of Telecommunications in Nigeria, and you want to achieve this impact. And then for your medium term goals now, it could be between 5 to 10 years. You want to maybe start an initiative to empower young people. You want to start a foundation. You want to do outreach. You want to, I mean, it's left to you. And then your longer term goals now are your plans for the future. Maybe in 10 years' time, you want to be the minister of IT in Nigeria. Yes, and I think your goals, career plan have to align with Chevening. For example, you have to show how the Chevening program is going to support you achieve your goals. For example, I told these people that I want to come to the UK to be able to network with the UK, develop positive relationships, which when I come back to Cameroon, and even when I came back to Cameroon in January, I think I wasn't up to 4 months. I was back to the UK for other activities. So you see that the relationships that you are able to develop during your study in the UK, you are able to come back to the UK or network further with the UK and see how to achieve more goals back home. And yes, you have to discuss how you leverage the skills, knowledge, and connections gained to drive innovation and leadership in your field. Yes, how your skills, for example, like I said, I wanted to network with my professors. I was able to call their names. And career plan, you can still come back to your future, your study in the UK and said, you mentioned that you want to work with Dr. Aman. And you feel that when you come back to Cameroon, based on the network you have been able to build with Dr. Aman, you'll be able to collaborate, maybe open a faculty of cybersecurity in Nigeria, University of I don't know states in Nigeria, maybe University of Lagos, yes. And also you have to understand or explain how, for example, your work ties with what the UK government is doing in your country. So I really did a lot of research on this, and this is how you can be outstanding from the others, because so many people will write and then they will not reference how their work ties with what the UK government is doing. And I won't lie to you, once these people see that you have interest in, or your work shows interest in what the UK government is doing in Nigeria, in Cameroon, they will have interest in your ACEs. So I think there's a link. I will send that to the comments section. So you see how you can check, for example, in technology, in entrepreneurship, or the key areas which you can see the work of the UK government. I remember I was able to write two innovative projects because in Cameroon back then, the UK was concerned with the environment and climate. So I was able to tell them that, okay, when I come back to Cameroon, I want to develop a system where it's able to like monitor the forest. And I mean, it's a kind of system which will manage the forest, and it was really a complex, innovative solution. And this is just how you are able to, for example, see that the UK is interested in, for example, or working on the field of the environment, and then you are able to propose something which suits that domain. Yes, so I think this should be good for you for your career plan is.
All right. Thank you very much, Felix. So yeah, that's very useful tips. I hope we are all taking notes and taking some of these points down to on how to write and structure your career plan essay. So for Jamil and Felix, I just wanted to ask you both. So you see now, um, Felix, you have shared some of your own plans that you said you wanted to do, and I'm sure Jamie, you had some of your own plans that I said you wanted to do. So I hope I also had my own plans I said I wanted to do. So the question is, how would you advise like applicants to be able to defend some of those plans that to show the assessor or the readers that those plans are something achievable based on their track record? How can they demonstrate that they can like to show that track record that they can actually do some of those grand things that they said they are going to do? How do you think that they should work that in their essay?
Okay, Jonathan, thanks for the question. I think let me go first. So for me, because all through my essays, I've been building myself as an innovator, as an IT person. So it's very much okay for me to come at my career plan and then say I want to use IT. I want to develop an innovative system that would provide support to the work the UK government is doing in the environmental sector. So this is how you can fit in. So you cannot say you are IT person and then you want to solve a problem in the health sector, but it's not related to using IT. For example, if the UK is actually working in the domain of health in Nigeria, it's okay for you to say you want to develop a system where doctors are able to connect with patients, and then or a website or a technology where, for example, or if the UK government in Nigeria is working in the field of agriculture, it's okay for you as a tech person to say, or understandable to say that you want to develop a platform where farmers will harvest their products in a remote place in Lagos, and then they post on these platforms, and then people in the city they have access to it. It's very much okay because you have been profiling yourself as an IT person, and even the course which you study. For example, I was studying cybersecurity, so all of this was relating to developing a platform and seeing that it's adequately secured. And based on, for example, I did computer engineering, meaning that I could develop websites. So it's okay to say that you can develop a platform. And then based on what you study in the UK, cybersecurity, you are able to secure these systems and other systems in that domain which the UK government is actually working on. So this is how I feel that you can actually, it's convincing to say that based on your experience or based on your courses or the education, you are able to support their work in that field.
All right, Jamie, any addition?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has said it all. I do not have any other thing from my side.
Yeah, thank you. Those are very key points. Like you see that Felix, for example, Felix now he has background in computer engineering. He was a web developer, and saying something like maybe you want to develop a complex system for the government to be able to maybe do something. It's not far-fetched because he has that experience. So maybe if you are someone, you have not stated that kind of experience in your essay, and now saying you want to do something like that, it would cast doubt to the assessor's mind that throughout your essays, you have not shown, maybe your leadership essay did not show that you could develop website. Maybe your networking essay did not show that you could develop website. Maybe what you are studying is actually artificial intelligence, and then in your career plan, you now come and say you want to develop a very robust website to connect all the local governments in your country. It's going to sound, I mean, look at it yourself, it's going to sound like so out of place because it doesn't seem like you have the skill, you have the background. I mean, of course, you are coming to UK to get those skills, but you should have some level of background to communicate to the assessors that you can do some of those things. That is a very good way to be able to show that track record, which also has to fall into the SMART goals, like your SMART goals, which is must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, it must be time bound, and then it must be result oriented. So make sure like whatever goals that you're setting in your career plan should fall in, should be SMART goals. And I just kind of like give you the description of what SMART goals are. So for me, for your career plan essay, I usually say, you also have to do research. Like, you need serious research? What are the problems in that your sector that is key that you want to solve? What are the problems that is not just generic problems? So you want to solve cybercrime by studying cybersecurity. How do you want to solve cybercrime? Solving cybercrime, one person cannot solve cybercrime. It's a very large thing. So you can say that, for example, cybercrime is a very big problem in most African countries. Find a subset that you can say you want to solve, not just you want to solve. How do you, because solving, if you say you want to solve cybercrime, it's not possible. Even the UK government are investing millions of pounds in Africa in trying to like reduce the rate of cybercrime. But you, as one person, now say you want to solve cybercrime, like how, even if you say you want to solve cybercrime, if you have to have like a tangible procedure, a tangible like outline that is believable, that is specific on how you are going to say you are going to solve those things. If you want to use artificial intelligence in health or in biomedical sciences, how do you aim to achieve that? You can't just pick a very broad sector and say you want to solve problem in that sector. You have to now pick a subsector. For example, maybe using artificial intelligence for in health, you can say, oh, maybe you are going to focus on maternal health and trying to like look at how you can develop artificial intelligence, machine learning models to predict the to predict maybe the possibilities of people having some kind of disease or ailment, given using their blood sample. That is something that is specific and is also niche under solving using artificial intelligence to solve health. So now when you have identified that niche, you now have to look at if you have the track record to be able to do that. So you're not just identifying a niche and you say you want to solve that problems. Do you have the track record? Does the things that you have studied in your leadership, your networking, does the course also that you want to go and study, all these things, does it come together? Would it give you the capacity to be able to solve that problem? That is how you look at how to structure your leadership essay. And also starting your leadership essay, I usually advise, I mean, that's another question I would ask to Jamie and Felix. Like, personally, I usually advise to start with a problem statement. What is the problem statement in the sector, in your country, in your community, in the area you're trying to solve? What is the problem statement? For example, I said I wanted to study cybersecurity, right? And which was to also like try to like reduce cybercrime. So I started my career plan essay by giving statistics. Like Nigeria ranks, according to cybersecurity ventures, Nigeria ranks like top 1% of cybercrime countries in the world. And then according to Sophos, Nigeria is going to lose about 6 billion by 2025 due to cybercrime. Like that is, and you have to, you don't give up statistics from your head. Like according to Forbes or according to Wall Street, or according to like, you have to like make it very, you have to give real and believable statistics to back up your claim so that because you can't just, I believe you can't just say you want to solve something without first establishing that it is a problem. I hope you understand. So you have to first establish that this is the problem, here is the problem, this is how the problem is affecting the people, your community, the people in your country that you're trying to help, and then move on to your short term, what you will do immediately you come back, and your midterm what you will do like 3 to 5 years, and your long term like in 10 years plan. So that's kind of like the structure, the introduction structure I usually advise. But Jamie and Felix, I don't know if you have any thoughts on like the introduction, how to start. What are your thoughts? Can you hear me?
Yeah, so I think I totally agree with you. Like you should, and this is one of the reasons why I said your introductory paragraph for any of the essays is the most critical, because that is the first thing anyone will read. And if they read your introduction, it is not captivating enough, then that will put them off. Remember that the person that will be reviewing your essay will be reviewing almost hundreds of essays. Maybe if they want to review essay for, let's say, 25 people, just 25 people, that means they have 100 essays to review. So you cannot write what you think is common. It has to be very unique. So one way to start introductory paragraph for career goal is what Jonathan has said. Start with a problem statement, maybe in your sector, whatever you want to do. Another approach is to maybe start with a story, a short story about maybe if you want to do something related to innovation, about some kind of innovation that has been done in the past somewhere, and it actually led to things being changed for good. So you can use a story, you can use a problem statement, you can use anything that maybe I can't even know, or I can't even say, or that nobody has ever used before. Just imagine something and use it. Make sure that you have something unique. But again, do not use stories like we were 12 people in the bedroom, or we did not really have a lot of things when I was growing up, but now I am here today. I have a bachelor's degree. So if I can come from a poor background, that means I can go ahead and study masters. Nobody wants to hear that, because it's not a pity game. If it's about poverty alleviation, then you are not the poorest in this country. So they should go and pick the poorest of the poor, right? So don't use any kind of pity story. Make sure you use maybe a story around your industry, a problem in your industry that you're trying to solve. I mean, one area that Nathan has said, if you say, okay, this is the problem in my industry, and I have been doing so and so to fix this. Now I want to go study A and B in the UK so that I can even, achieve a greater, success regarding solving this problem. So yeah, that's just what I'll add to the career goal introduction.
All right, thank you very much. So Felix, any other general contributions to that?
Yeah, I think you guys said everything all, but let me just share my screen again and
Okay.
how I was able to, yes. So for example, you see how, for example, you can see in Nigeria, many challenges still exist in the cyberspace, in health. It could be based on your domain, and you let them know that there's need for cybersecurity professionals, there's need for uh, doctors, there's need for entrepreneurs based on your field, and this is prompting you to develop, for example, your short-term goals. It could be between the first 3 years when you return from the UK to come back and work in that field. It could be health, it could be entrepreneurship, it could be agriculture. But for me, I wanted to come back and work in the information security field in Cameroon. And I was able to explain them that I want to target issues faced in the cyberspace. And also, I want to work with the Ministry of, that is the government of Cameroon, to contribute to the fight against cyber threats. So you can develop this based on any field. It could be health, it could be entrepreneurship, and I feel that this is a good opening, and from there you can progress with your other the other goals, for example, your medium-term goals and your long-term goals.
Yes, so you can see that example of essay that Felix just shared just now. That's kind of like the approach that he used. He started with problem, and then went ahead to state what his plans are in terms of solving that problem. So just rounding up the career plan section. So any last tips for the career plan from Johnny and Felix? before we move to Grace if she's around.
I think that's it from my hand.
I think I said everything which is relevant to career plan.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for that. And we'll probably delve more into it for the uh, career plan during question and answer. Okay, I'm just getting a text from Grace. I think she is not still able to talk. She's still at work, but she's saying we should give her 5 minutes. So I don't know if anyone has any um, contribution. So okay, just so we know that I said at the beginning of the call that I will be picking like 2 people from the call to review their essays, and depends on your contribution, your activeness on the call. I would pick 2 people randomly. I'm going to help them to review the essays, work one-on-one to see how we can work together. Also, I just maybe let me just even state that I'm putting the speakers on the spot to also select one person randomly on the audience that they would want to work with. I know I didn't discuss this with you before, but just maybe to review the essays. I'm sure you probably already have people that you're working with or trying to like review your essays and all of that. But yeah, I'll just put you on the spot. Like, I mean, just maybe at the end of the entire meeting, after the questions and answer, you just select maybe one person per speaker to, I mean, you can select more if you want, but just maybe select one person from the call that you would like to help review their essays for free at your spare time before the conclusion. Okay, so Susan, over to you.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. So I'm thinking while we wait for Grace, how about we start off with taking questions because we are actually already
Yeah.
we are way behind schedule. So why don't we take some of the questions now? Then probably after our session, we open it to the floor.
Okay.
So I have some questions here with me already from the poll from those who registered online or filled the form. There was somewhere for them to ask questions. So I'm asking these questions from what you guys already posted. So while Felix was speaking, he
Okay.
touched on how it isn't wise to have a different degree in your first degree, a different course of study in your first degree, and then for your masters you want to do something entirely different. Case in point, you probably studied let's say physics in your in BA, and then for your masters you say you want to study artificial intelligence. They are, for lack of better word, they are world apart. Yeah, and I get that. But now the question is, what if I have been able to garner about 2, 3 years of experience in artificial
Hmm?
intelligence after my first my first degree? Do I stand a chance at getting
Yeah.
a scholarship for to study artificial intelligence and not physics?
Yeah. So I think I'll take that question.
Yeah.
Um, just using myself as an example, I studied civil engineering in my bachelor's degree,
Okay.
and then I studied artificial intelligence for master's degree, right?
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm.
For after my civil engineering degree, I worked briefly as an engineer trying to build air dams and canals for irrigation in northern Nigeria. So has nothing to do with AI, right? And has
Okay.
nothing to do with education or whatever that I
Mm-hmm.
eventually say, oh, I want to use AI for education. But after
Mm-hmm.
that, I then worked on a project. I was country project manager for a Dubai-based company in Nigeria. It's an education
Okay.
consultancy firm.
Okay.
And then we worked on a project called the HP Idea Program, HP Innovation and Digital Education Academy,
Mm-hmm.
where we sort of empower teachers to become innovators. Now, some of
Okay.
the projects I worked on had to do with us using artificial intelligence, for instance, to track people reading. You want to measure a child's ability to read, for instance. So
Mm-hmm.
we are using AI-based apps to sort of assess their reading ability, track their eye movement when they are reading, and then it will also tell you if this child is suffering from reading difficulty like dyslexia. So that's an AI-based, AI-related project that I worked on. But again, it's not like I built the AI. I didn't build it. I didn't do anything. We just use the app and deploy and then distribute in Lagos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then worked with a startup in Saudi Arabia remotely, and then they were sort of building something related to AI for e-invoicing system. Again, I was not the one that built it directly. I was just
Yeah.
involved in the project.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I knew I wanted to do AI was during the HP Idea program in Nigeria. I realized most of the teachers would tell me they have challenges trying to join our sessions just because they have too much workload. So the question is, how do we reduce their workload? And I went online and I felt that, oh, we can actually use AI, build AI-based teacher support systems to help reduce, their workload. So they can use AI for their routine task and then focus on the most critical task, like providing one-on-one support for students. So you can automate maybe assignments, marking of essays, you can automate attendance and all of that. Then you now
Okay.
spend one-on-one time supporting your pupils. So, and that was the way I got interested in artificial intelligence. And then immediately, I was already a programmer. I was already cool with Java programming, but I immediately learned Python programming and then did data science certification on Coursera. It's IBM Professional Data Science program. And that was a
Mm-hmm.
year to me applying for Chevening. So I quickly prepared for that and boom, I submitted an application for Chevening. So the point is, you can study anything forget about what you study in your undergraduate, to be very honest. If it is not related to your program, don't worry. Now, because I studied civil engineering in my undergraduate, I didn't talk about it at all because it was not
Mm-hmm.
relevant to anything I want to do. So
Yeah.
but the most critical thing is that make sure that you are able to gain admission to the university. So
Okay.
even though I said I did not study AI, I had already prepared for AI. I was already so at UCL, for instance, you cannot be admitted to study AI if you don't have, even though you don't have a bachelor's degree in computer science, your bachelor's degree must be in a physical science subject, either engineering, it can be any form of engineering. It can be civil, it can be mechanical, it can be electrical, or physical sciences like physics or chemistry. So your bachelor's degree must be something in physical sciences so that they know that you have a decent knowledge of mathematics, probability, vectors, matrices, and all of that, and physics. That is when they feel like you can be successful in this program. So whatever course you want to do, make sure that you are able to gain admission. What is important to Chevening is, hey, this course that you say you want to do, what have you done related to it in the past, or what do you think you want to do in the future that will make it, beneficial, that will make us have good return on investment on the money we are investing in you. So to be serious, you can study anything as long as you are able to craft your story around that thing. Even though I was not an AI engineer when I studied AI, I mean, when I put in for application to study AI, I had already done some project related to AI, right? So, and I didn't study AI in my bachelor's degree, right? So, and it's highly unlikely that most of you trying to study AI, for instance, will have done AI in your undergrad. Maybe you will have done, some could have done computer science, but I don't think there are several Nigerian universities that offer bachelor's degree in artificial intelligence. If there is any, maybe they just started. So and anybody can study AI. You can, as long as you have a physical science background, and maybe you have done one or two projects in AI, and you feel like you can gain admission into this program, and then circle back to Chevening, and they can give you a scholarship. So yeah, that's my response to that.
All right. Thank you so much,
Yeah. So there's a
Kadamia.
question here. Can UCL give application fee if I really want to pick a school in my essay? Okay. Yeah. Sure. Uh, just I think there'll be, you just submit an application, and if they pick you, then they give you a waiver. And I think many universities do this. The story about my own my own program at UCL. When you are selecting a course with Chevening, you have three courses, three university choices, like Felix has mentioned. So you have first choice, second choice, and third choice. Now, what I did was that I wanted to pick one of the maybe top 5 universities as my first choice. Then second choice, maybe another university, maybe around 10 to 20. Then third choice, maybe let's say between 20 to 40 in terms of ranking, so that I can distribute my choice. If I don't get into a top school, maybe I can get into, the one that is not top, maybe, but still in Russell group. And then if I don't get that, I can get into another. So I selected University of Birmingham as my first choice. No, I checked the top schools and I didn't really see anyone offering a master's degree in artificial intelligence specifically. I saw UCL at that time was not offering any master's in artificial intelligence. They were offering a master's degree, I think, in AI and robotics, another one in machine learning and computational statistics, but there is no, focus on AI directly, AI alone. Then I checked Oxford and Cambridge. They were offering masters in advanced computer systems, computer science rather. So I couldn't select any of them. Then I chose University of Birmingham, computer science and machine learning. It was during the preparation for my interview, when I was preparing for Chevening interview. When you are preparing for an interview, you sort of do additional research, you go online, quickly check some things, just to prepare for your interview. Then I
Yeah.
realized that, you apply for Chevening August to November. Then your interview is the following year. During our time, interview was April. We applied for Chevening previous year, around October to November. So I submitted application, then interview is April. In my application, I had put University of Birmingham as first choice. Now, while I was preparing for interview, I realized that UCL is starting 2 new programs, artificial intelligence programs, and that is artificial intelligence for domain-specific application. So you will now pick one track. Either you study artificial intelligence for sustainable development or artificial intelligence for biomedicine and healthcare, but it's purely the same thing, just one module is different. Now, when I saw that, I felt, oh, this is one. And UCL is a top school. It's top 4 in the UK, right? Top 10 in the world too. So I felt, okay, let me quickly pick artificial intelligence for sustainable development. My interview is, let's say, I think 2 days later, and then I saw this program. I had to quickly reframe the whole preparation that I was making, and I applied for that course exactly the same day, and I had to pay for the application fee exactly the same day because the deadline for the application was almost, it was almost deadline. So the reason why I'm bringing up this story is because Chineye is talking about application fee waiver. You can apply for fee waiver if you realize that, okay, you still have enough time. But for my particular case, I did not have to wait for fee waiver because I was actually applying very late. The application will close same, I think, April or May. And then I just saw the program started. So we were the first cohort of AI for the most specific application in in UCL, at UCL. So the point is, if you have enough time, you can apply for waiver. But if you don't, then get maybe some cash and pay the application fee waiver to be around £100 or something. Alternatively, you can pick schools that don't require you to pay application fee.
All right. Thank you, Jamil. You've been able to extensively respond to that question. I am told that we have Grace now. Grace is ready for us. So please, Grace, you have the floor.
I think you can continue with the questions. I texted you. You can continue with questions.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so another question that we got is okay. Now from most of the requirements for the Chevening scholarship, you would see that it is pointing to high achieving individuals. But then my CGPA is low. I probably finished with a third class or something. How what are my chances of getting the what's it called, the scholarship? Felix, do you want to help us with
Okay.
this?
Yes, let me go with that question. So I usually tell people that Chevening is for leaders. So emphasis is not based on whether you had third class or yes. And even if you had third class or second class, lower or whatever results you had, you can always, I tell people this, you can leverage your academics with your professional CV, with your professional achievements. Yes. So if you have a low grade, for example, third class, and you are someone who has really had so much achievement in, let's say, the tech sector in Nigeria, you are able to cover for that. That is your professional achievements or experience. For example, you have been able to attend conferences, you have written articles, you have developed so many solutions in Nigeria. I can bet you that you will still be able to write the Chevening Aces, because the Aces, these people are looking for leaders. They did not state in the Chevening portal that they are looking for first class students. So if you see that you are somebody who had a low grade in school, see how you can volunteer for organizations, see how you can engage in professional activities during the time of your applications, or even when you are preparing for the Chevening, so you are able to develop your profile, because the essays, what you are writing is not that in school you were a first class student. You are telling them that, for example, you, as an innovative person, you notice a problem. For example, in my leadership essay, I was able to say that in Cameroon, I noticed that students are facing difficulties to find exam resources like past questions, and which is limiting them from studying. And as an innovative person, I was able to develop an app. And now this was back in 2018 when I was still engineering student. I was able to develop an app where students can find past questions to study. And 2022, so many years later, I'm applying for Chevening and I'm able to quote what I was able to do in 2018. I did not mention that I was first class, I was second class, no, but I was able to identify a solution, a problem, and I was able to offer a solution. This is what they are looking for. So keep your university, your school grades aside, and see how you can actually improve by getting professional achievements.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So another question we have, I think this would be for either Jonathan or Jamil, because they've touched on this previously. You guys have touched on how it's important to give back to the society, be involved in one or two community services so that you can pen that down as some of your leadership achievements or endeavors. But in the case where I want to apply for the Chevening Scholarship, but I haven't been able to partake or start up something for my community. I haven't been much of a volunteer before now. What are my chances, or what can I do to get ready or to set myself apart? Do you understand my question?
Yeah, I think to some extent I understand. So this person does not have anything related to maybe using technology for development, or anything related to
Yes.
social impact.
Yes.
So the thing is, I think you still have time to do that. Like this is August. Shipping application will close, I think, very early in November, right? So you can probably volunteer for, or even start something, start one yourself. Maybe you can quickly mentor 30 people. Okay, look at this program that Jonathan has actually organized. It was within the last, I think, 1 or 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And maybe you can use this as assuming he's applying for Chevening, use this as an example of how he has helped, let's say 106 young people. So if you're already a subject matter expertise in one area, you can maybe quickly organize a workshop for young people, sort of giving back to the society, or volunteer for an organization. You still have like 2 months before you tidy up your Chevening essay and then submit an application, maybe October or something. And the good thing is that even if you are not selected for interview, you will now have like almost 7 months to continue doing that thing till you go for your interview and you can talk more about it extensively. So if you don't have any, I will advise that you find one, like do something. Because at the end of the day, fine, even if you don't have, maybe you may even have and you don't know. Maybe in your workplace, your company did one project and you were actively involved in it, you participated in it, you were like, I remember when somebody did our own Chevening, it was a company that did something around energy intervention projects, and then she was actively involved in it. And of course, she can talk about that because she was actively involved in the project. So
Okay.
if you have been part of an organization or even a for-profit organization and you guys did some kind of intervention somewhere, we can talk about it.
All right.
So
Thank you.
so I just wanted to add also, like, in addition, everything like Jamie said is correct. Like, you have to, if you see that you've done the assessment, you see the checking eligibility criteria, and you think that you're not, I mean, just like myself, where I found out about the Chevening Scholarship in 2019, I didn't apply until 2 years later because I felt like I wasn't qualified. So that's one place, but you can wait, build up capacity, build up leadership experience, build up impact experience, volunteer for programs, just like Jamie said, start up your own, maybe you can start your own stuff or volunteer for people who are doing, there are several organizations, especially in IT field, that you can volunteer for. You can volunteer for different, in fact, there's Cyber Safe Foundation, there's Tech for Dev, there's Women in Cyber, there's a couple of other, there's Data Science Nigeria. So look at those organizations and maybe non-profit organizations in your country where you are and see how you can contribute. Send them an email, send them a DM on LinkedIn or WhatsApp, on Instagram. Tell them you would like to volunteer. I started like volunteering a couple of years ago, and just by like sending emails, so or by sending DMs to people who look at the people who are actually in charge of those initiatives, volunteer for it, or send them message that you like to contribute. That if you don't want to start your own, you volunteer for organizations or volunteer for even if it's where you are working if you are working in 9 to 5, start looking at ways to take initiatives. Start looking at, okay, this is maybe it's a problem that you are looking at, and you have been complaining about, and it's not, you can use IT to solve it. Look for ways to solve problems. That's how to build initiatives. Chevening is about taking initiatives, um, doing things for the benefit of other people, showing impact. So if you see that you don't have some of those impactful experience or you don't have some of those leadership experience, start looking at, come up with a strategy, start looking at how you can build those experience within the time possible. And if you are not able to, give yourself 1 year, okay, you give yourself 1 year to develop those experiences, to develop those skills, and then so that you can be able to apply better in the next coming application round.
All right. Thank you so much,
So I don't know,
Jonathan.
because of our time, maybe we'll be able to take like 2 or 3 more questions, and then we can open the call for 1 or 2 more questions on the meeting.
Okay, so that is all of the questions I have, but
Okay.
I saw something on the chats chat in the chat section, and this person says this is going to be his fourth time or their fourth time applying for the Chevening Scholarship. And they want to know if they can use the same essays that they've been using since 2019 with a little tweak here and there. They got to the interview stage once in 2022, but pretty much they want to know if they can use the same essay or they they have to work on an entirely different essay.
Okay. Uh, so I think that you need to always change your essay. I mean, not change completely, but improve on your essay if you want to apply for a new for during the new year. Because the reality is that over the last 1 year, something has changed. You have done something new. So you can use that to even make your essay stronger. But if you know the person, you can just connect me with the person and maybe we can work together on his or her application.
Oh, nice. So Jamil has one person already. King, the person who asked this question is King. So King, do well to reach out to me on WhatsApp, Susan Onikachi, so that I would get you across, or I'll connect you with Jamie to help you review your essay. Yeah, so I think we can open the we can let someone in to ask questions.
So if you have
Every other question
questions,
here has been addressed, I believe. Someone is talking about still being in, the person has applied already, or is already in the process of applying for the scholarship, but is yet to get feedback from the universities they applied to, and the person wants to know whether to put still awaiting admission, or still awaiting admission, or receive unconditional offer. And based on what Jamil said, the application is still open till November. So if you know that you're going to receive feedback from these universities between now and November, I think you should just hold off on completing your application so that you get feedback from them, and you are able to give the right feedback. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to wait till you get any feedback from the university. You don't even need to apply to the university to submit your application. Like
yeah.
I mentioned in my story, UCL, I didn't even know they did not start any program in AI uh, until March 2020. I think we applied in, yeah, we applied in 2021. Then we did our interview April 2022, right? It was March 2022 that they roll out application for their AI programs. And I saw that program April 2022 when my interview was just 2 days time. So I quickly submit application, paid for our application fee exactly the same day. So you don't have to wait. By the time I was doing my interview, I had only gotten one offer, and that was my third choice. So you don't have to apply for, you don't have to submit your, what do you call it, school application before applying for Chevening. Just
Okay.
make sure that before your interview, you are able to put in all the application, and maybe some of them are even giving you offer letter. That before your interview. The focus right now should be on the Chevening essays and trying to make sure that you submit a solid application for Chevening. And then after you submit your Chevening application, you can then apply to the schools. But of course, you should have selected the courses you want to study before you submit Chevening application, you know. So you can then focus on applying to schools after your Chevening application. You have enough time for that.
Okay. All right. Please, one more
Um,
question before
sorry,
we pick
Susan.
someone to. Yes, please.
So Grace is not available. So I think we should just give her the opportunity to speak on the networking essay, because I think that's the only essay that is left, so that we can take Grace. I mean, Grace is really, she has really taken so much effort to be here, because she was previously at work, and then we scheduled that session to be the last session, and now she had to like quickly run on to be available. So thank you so much, Grace, for the effort. I really appreciate you being here. So you can go ahead.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. I truly appreciate it. I really didn't think my day will be as crazy as it has been, but for sure, yes, it's been amazing. And the good thing about being the last speaker is most of the things have been discussed. So I will just highlight, I will hit the nail on the head. Like, because I'm discussing the networking essay, I'll just go right into it. But a brief introduction. I am Grace Munyiri, and I studied a master's in data science and analytics, Cardiff University. Someone asked if you need to apply for the same course you studied for your bachelor's. No, my bachelor's, I did it actuarial science, and actuarial is like, it's not even tech related, but it's how you present yourself in the AC will determine if you're given the scholarship or not. So don't let it be a barrier for you. Go for it. Okay. Yeah. So let me go straight to the essay. My advice to all the people that I mentor on the essay is usually have 5 paragraphs for the essay. 1, the introduction, which is the first paragraph. The 5th paragraph will be a conclusion. And then the 3 paragraphs in between will be your body. I'll start with the introduction. And I'm sorry, because I'm using my phone at the moment, for anyone who needs like the printout of this presentation, kindly reach out to me on LinkedIn, and then I will send it over to you, because I clearly couldn't figure out how I could present using my phone, and I'm so sorry for that. But I will just read through what I had prepared. And if you need the materials, I will send it to you over LinkedIn. So yeah, for the first paragraph, it's important for you to say your purpose. Start by briefly explaining the purpose of the essay. So I wrote a sample guide, like this is how I would start my essay. Throughout my career, I have actively built and nurtured networks that have been instrumental in my professional growth and community impact. That shows that you're not waiting for Chevening for you to be someone who will be good at networking. You have actually been doing it. You just want it to be an addition to your professional experience. And then you can give an example. As a community leader in this organization, I utilize my networking skills to connect with professionals from diverse fields, which has greatly contributed to my personal development and my ability to effect change. So the good thing about that in your introduction, first of all, you have, your introduction should be your punchline. You've shown these people, but then you know what? You're getting me as a Chevening scholar. I have been networking with people, and I am not only coming in as a scholar, I will come in with my networks. I hope you all understand what I mean with that. The second paragraph will be your body, which is your first example of your networking experience. So with this, you need to describe your networking experiences that showcase your skills. Be it you've been working in tech or finance or medicine, whichever field, you need to show how you have had these experiences, because you need to back up your statement. So for instance, you might talk about organizing a conference or a seminar in your home country to address a pressing social issues such as youth employment. So for example, in my essay, I wrote that I organized, because I studied actuarial science, I said that I was working as an administrative assistant, and I organized sessions for those in the university studying actuarial science with the industry experts. And from that, more than 20 people were able to get internships. So you see, I think one of our speakers talked about the STAR approach. You've said the situation, the task, the action that you had, and the result. People got internships. Kudos. Like that means that you're using your network to empower more people, not only for yourself, but for other people. So a sample statement I had written for that paragraph is, in 2020, I organized a conference in Kenya focusing on youth and employment, a critical issue impacting our community. The event aimed to bring together government officials, private sector leaders, and youth entrepreneurs to discuss potential issues. Okay, I tried to make these paragraphs as brief as possible, because you need to, still your essay needs to be 500 words, but I was just writing down these small sections of the essay where you can borrow from. Like, okay, don't, please, for those of you writing essays, don't write word for word what I'm telling you, because I can't imagine. I think we have 111 people here. I can't imagine 111 people writing the same things in their networking essays. I wrote these samples as a guide for you, but please don't write the same thing word for word, okay? So that you have said the situation that you had. So the action taken is detail the steps you took to build and maintain relationships with the stakeholders involved in the conference. Sorry, my background is very noisy. I'm so sorry. But I hope you can all clearly hear me. Oh, can you? Please, one of you. Can you hear me clearly? Jonathan?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
Oh, you can? Oh, great.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm so sorry. My background is crazy noisy because I've not gotten home yet. But anyway, let me continue. So the actions taken. I hope you're just writing down these notes. Okay, so you have to detail the steps you use. So the sample I wrote for that is, to ensure the event success, I reached out to my professional network, leveraging contacts that I have made during my undergraduate studies and previous work experiences. I coordinated with different stakeholders to secure speakers, sponsors, and participants, emphasizing the mutual benefits of collaboration. Now, with that statement, if I may break down like that statement, I have shown that I have used all these people to work together for the common goal of addressing youth unemployment. I needed people who have studied actuarial science to get internships, to get jobs. So I needed all these people to come together, direct these people to where they can get these opportunities. In this, you will have demonstrated skills. One skill you have demonstrated over there is leadership. You were able to organize this event. You called upon so many people. You coordinated with these people. You made sure the event was a success. You got your classmates in and told them that they need to come for this event. Also, it shows a lot of sensitivity because as a leader, you need to be sensitive to the people's needs. The next part is you need now, because you have demonstrated the skills, you have to write them down. Because you don't expect these people to read in between the lines. I remember when I was writing my essays, my mentor was telling me, Grace, these people are not angels. You need to write it down, blow your trumpet. If there's a time that you need to blow your trumpet, it's this one, because I can tell you for sure, Chevening experience has been the best. So you have to blow your trumpet. So anyway, let me go back to the essay. Now I'm reading now the sample part on how you can demonstrate your skills. So this experience required strong leadership skills and communication skills as I navigate different interests and cultural perspectives. I facilitated discussions and ensured that all voices were heard, fostering an environment of mutual respect and understanding. And have a good outcome. So how was the event? The conference not only generated actionable insights on tackling the youth unemployment, but also led to a formation of new initiatives between the public and private sectors to create more job opportunities for the young people. That is just one example that I have given you for paragraph 1. That is the content for paragraph 1. And then for paragraph 2, follow the same steps. For paragraph 3, follow the same steps, but use different experiences. For the last paragraph, you need now to reflect. And reflection is whatever you have written up there, the 3 experiences that you've written up there, now reflect on them. So a sample guide I wrote for that was, through these experiences, I learned the importance of strategic thinking and leadership in building effective networks. I realized that successful network is not just about connecting with people, but about creating meaningful, long-lasting relationships. And finally, this is how you can conclude. My approach to networking reflects, because at the end of the day, remember, you're writing to the Chevening community. You have to praise them as well. So you have to get all these skills that you've talked about, all these experiences that you've talked about, now bring them and align them to the Chevening values. You need to reinforce your networking abilities, aligning them with the values that Chevening have indicated. And a sample, goodness, this motorbike, I'm sorry. So a sample for that I wrote down was, my approach to networking reflects Chevening values of leadership, influence, and community engagement. I am committed to continuing this work using the platform and network provided by Chevening to provide a meaningful change. I believe that by building and nurturing diverse networks, I can play a pivotal role in addressing challenges faced by my community and beyond. I am eager to bring the perspective and this skills the Chevening network to continue growing as a leader and connector. And that's how you end the essay. So I hope you have understood. First of all, have the first paragraph, your punchline, 3 paragraphs, experiences, and each experience will follow the STAR approach and make sure you have a very good outcome. Final paragraph, reflect on your own journey, because I always believe the final paragraph should be divided into 2. It should be 1 block, but in 2 sections. The first section is how you reflect on your journey and what the skills you have that makes you to be a good person in networking. And then the last section will be, I have all these things, and this is how I align them to the Chevening values. Are we together after that? I feel like I've talked too much and I hope you're listening so well.
Yeah, we can hear you, and I think
Yes.
you can see their comment in the
Are
chat.
we together?
Yes, we are.
Goodness. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Can you hear
We
us?
hear you. We have been.
Oh my word. No one is talking.
We
Oh
are.
yeah, but I can. Yeah. I can. Oh. Da. Okay, welcome, Grace. Okay, yes. Oh yes. Okay. Goodness, how is it confusing? I don't know. But I hope you've understood what I was talking about. But my final encouragement will be stay enthusiastic and authentic in your essays. Make sure that you don't copy anyone's essays, use your personal experiences and be confident. There's someone who asked about like they have applied for the Chevening scholarship more than 4 times. Don't worry. They only take 1.5% of the applicants. So it's not that you have don't let it hinder you from not applying again. No, you're not the problem. You will actually get it eventually. So yeah, that was my bit. And I hope you have understood. If not, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I will send the guide with the sample paragraphs that I had written down. And I am so sorry that I was in a noisy place. And thank you for your time, everyone. I appreciate it. Oh, if you have any questions, please let me know. Bye.
All right, Grace.
Oh, back
Please
to you, Jonathan.
confirm if you can hear me now.
Oh well, I don't know.
Can you?
I think for some
We can
reason
hear
she
you.
can't hear
We can
us.
hear you. We can hear you.
No, I was speaking. I was speaking to Grace. I think for some reasons she can't hear
Oh,
us. Hear us. But then I was actually going to say that this is a typical case of leaving the best for the last, because I think this was
yeah.
literally just the icing on the cake. This was the icing on the cake, and I think tying this to what Jamil said earlier about not writing your essays and trying to get pity or something. The networking essay is not the time to eat the humble pie. So as much as possible, you want to blow your trumpet. You want to speak about all of your achievements and all of the connections, all of the networks that you have. So yeah, thank you so much, Grace. And I would suggest I believe Jonathan will get this across to her, but I suggest that the PDF is sent to Jonathan so we can share on the group, because it's more efficient when we are sending it once and everyone downloads rather than people going to her individually to get it. It's going to be overwhelming, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much. We have two hands up, King and Ayiyu. Their hands are up. I believe they have questions for us.
Yeah, just want to add one thing before the questions. So
Okay.
because I know Jonathan said we should pick 1 or 2 people to help review their application. So
Okay.
I'll drop a link to a form, a Google form, and I'll quickly just set the form to collect the first 100 responses and then pick maybe 2 people or 3 people after seeing their response to the form. So I just drop the
Yeah.
link to Google form and then you can quickly I mean, no, you don't have to do it now, do it after the program. You can fill the form.
Right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So you guys run, run and go and fill that form.
Wait and listen to some points. I mean, I think it's about the questions to the form, not necessarily how fast you are. So take your time, fill it.
True. True.
You pass through. You get a one-on-one session with Jamu. So it's not about how fast you are. It's about what, like the quality of your questions to the quality of your responses to the question
Answers. Yeah.
for Jamu's form. Thank you so much, Jamu, for that.
Yeah, thanks.
So I think Chi.
Yes, greetings everyone. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah, my first question is to Jamil. I'm interested in one of the schools you went to, UCL. Jamil, please, can I quickly know what will be my limitations of getting admission into UCL pertaining to requirements, and also when I get the admission, will I be able to get a maybe like major in cybersecurity and minor in AI? Is there the possibility of something like that, doing a specialty in cybersecurity with AI related courses attached to it? All right.
Yeah, so I think most of the courses you already know what you will do even before you go into the school. So each course already has the course title and then the modules you are going to study. If you go to the university page, Department of Computer Science, you see the list of courses. And then you see on each course, you see what the modules are. For instance, in my own case, the module itself is artificial intelligence, but you can call maybe sustainable development the minor because it's more about applied AI. So we are applying AI to solve a problem. And then most of our master's dissertation is about building AI solutions to solve a specific problem instead of just doing fundamental AI research or foundational AI research. We are doing applied AI research, right? So I think the best thing is to just go to the university website, Department of Computer Science or Center for Artificial Intelligence. You see the programs that they offer. Check for the one that meets your requirements. Alternatively, you can just do Masters in Computer Science, where you can pick, another thing is that you can pick several, several electives. I think in my own program, we can pick up to 2 electives. And I did something in tech entrepreneurship, even though it was not part of the core program. So I did that as an elective. And I did another one in responsible artificial intelligence. So you can have your main program and then pick electives depending on your specific interest. And then you ask question around what could be the limitation for your program. I think there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Just look at the requirement for the program itself and make sure that you check out each of the requirements. Uh, for instance, some may say you should have a physical science background, like a bachelor's degree in a physical science subject. To be honest, it's not necessary that you have a computer science to do any computer science course. No. What most of the programs require you to have is a physical science background. Maybe something like engineering, physics, math, or chemistry, something physical science or biochemistry. But it's not like you study law and then you want to do something related to computer science. They will not be able to connect it because and you may even struggle in the program because you will do something around vectors, matrices that will be necessary, calculus, which you didn't do maybe in your undergrad. So just check the requirements on the university website for the program you want to go for, and you see if you are qualified to apply for an application there.
Okay, thank you. I think that answers the major part. Just to introduce myself properly, I'm Chiayu, Bachelor, Professional Software Engineering, Douala, Cameroon. My second question will be, are we going to have, because I feel like one of the things I know in programming is you could always come out with an algorithm of everything. So I was asking, I want to ask if we're going to have this session of this video available, or maybe the PDF of it, so I could maybe come up with an algorithm which could help me go through this whole process seamlessly. All right, thank you.
Sorry, what do you mean by algorithm? Algorithm for what?
I wasn't sure either. So I think for the first part, the recordings will be processed and hopefully sent to all registered participants as long as you registered on the form and we have your email on the database. So we'll communicate recordings to you. So I think he was talking about maybe once you get the recording, use an algorithm to process it and get the summary, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, there are note takers out there that you can just probably use. All right, so we have King. King, you can unmute.
No, you can't unmute himself.
So I'm asking him to unmute. If you're not there,
Yeah.
Ismail,
Hi guys, good evening. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so quick one. So basically my question is directed to Felix. I guess he's the one that went to University of Westminster, right? So hi Felix, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so quick one. So I also applied to University of Westminster in 2022 when I did my first application for Chevening. So same cybersecurity and forensics program. So and I was given admission. So but then because I did not win the Chevening Scholarship, I didn't get back to them. I didn't do anything. But then I'm still interested in the program again. So do you think if I apply again, I would have the chance of getting admission?
Yes, it's okay to apply again, but I think what you can do is you can defer your offers because in 2021, when I applied for Chevening, got to the interview stage and then was rejected in June. What I was able to do is I was able to write a deferral letter for my schools, and then I had them defer all my offers to 20 the following year. So I think rather than trying to apply again, you can just write a letter, a deferral letter. I can send you a sample of what I did. And then that was what I did for all my schools. And then the following year, automatically, I had uh, unconditional offers even before submitting my achieving essay. So I think this is what you can do, unless you want to change your schools before you think of doing a new application. Yes, I think this helps.
Oh, okay. So I would reach out to you to get the samples. So another quick, just simple question is that I heard that you have to be careful of the schools you pick because that year I remember I chose Royal Holloway University as well. But I realized that their school fees is about £27,000, and I heard, or I don't know how true it is, that there is a limitation to what Chevening can pay as a tuition fee. And if it's beyond their threshold, you might be the one to pay for the remaining one. How true is that?
I think there is maybe Jonathan will help, but I think for MBA something like that applies. But I feel that for other programs, even your fee is up to £30,000. I mean, the scholarship is able to afford that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. So this last one is for Jamil. Just quick one, please. Sorry for wasting time. Sorry, Jamil. Like I said, I applied before, so but I wasn't. I think the reason I was unable to get the scholarship, I don't know, but I'm thinking from my hand that I didn't have the enough experience. I was just putting internships, the ones I did before I finished school, and all of them together. So I think that is the reason I didn't get. But I feel my essay is still very relevant, very with what you've taught us today. It's good, it's in line with most of them. Do you think can you assist to help me put like the experiences I've gotten within the last 2 years to merge with it and use it to refine it and submit same application? I would really appreciate that.
Do you mean review your essays? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think he has dropped off. But
Okay.
then, if he wants you to review his
Yeah,
essays,
you
I think that
can
was what he was
fill the
talking
form.
about.
You can
Yes,
just
I was going
fill
to
the
say
form and
that.
then I can pick. Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, somebody asked about whether they can fund some amounts. I think
Yes, if
Felix.
there is a gap, a cap.
There is no for any other program you want to study. There is no cap at all. So my program then was 30, I think £35,000 or £32,000. I can't remember. And I remember Inyolua from our cohort studied at Oxford, and our program was £42,000 or £39,000. I can't remember. So you don't, as long as you're not studying MBA, you don't have a cap. So even if your program is 40 something thousand pounds, Chevening will still fund it as long as you can demonstrate that you have what it takes.
All right. Thank you.
So we have Umo.
So I was speaking and my mic was on mute. I was going to, Omo, please, just a moment. Please, every other person who have questions, try to ask all of your questions together, and then the speakers would take your questions in turn. And please keep it as brief as you can. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Please, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So my question is just out there, so anyone can answer. So I have a degree in cybersecurity, and for my master's degree, I want to get a degree in risk management. But for the options I have searched, I haven't seen anyone with cybersecurity risk management. It's basically risk management in association with business, financial risks, and operational risks. So, and the one that basically caught my attention is the risk crisis and resilience management. But the based on the summary and what the course offer, there is more practical approach though in business and people approach. But I'm having issue trying to structure it in relation to my background in cybersecurity and also my volunteering experience in battling cybercrime. So I don't know if there is any tips or anything anyone can actually drop for me.
Okay, so I think so. To get you correctly, you are looking to study like risk management, but most of the experiences in cybercrime, right? So like
Yes.
how can you manage it?
Yes.
So I think yeah, it's cybercrime. It's also cybersecurity related. Risk management is part of cybersecurity. So I think it's a good. I mean, it's a good it's a good segue cybercrime into risk management. They are all like under the same cybersecurity. So I don't think there's any. I don't particularly think there's any like necessarily any merging that might be necessary there since it's already like under the same cybersecurity. And yes, I don't think there's a particular course you might find a particular course on cybersecurity risks. Most of the risks courses you see are on like financial risks or maybe other kinds of risks. You might find a course that so what you might do, you might find a course on cybersecurity, but which the that is called cybersecurity, but the modules are heavy on risks. So that's like you have to do more research on because there are a lot of schools that offer cybersecurity actually, but you now have to like check their modules and the ones that focus on more on risk part of cybersecurity, make risk management, risk assessment, and vulnerability assessment. So if that's kind of like what you're looking, the parts you're looking at, but risk management in cybersecurity as a standalone, I don't think you might find one particular course addressing that. So you just have to look at the modules. And for your experience, I think it's still good. Like your volunteering experience cybersecurity is still good. But yeah, um, so you can just message me. I think it's if it's the same email, I know. Just to send me a DM. Yeah, we are familiar before. Okay,
Omo, is that fine?
I think she's not able to unmute.
Okay. I was not able to unmute, but yeah, that's fine. I'm the same. So yeah, I'll miss you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
So I think we have to round up because the session was supposed to be scheduled for 30 minutes, but we already like in 3 hours. So let me just give the our speakers a chance. Jamie already did like over the board, like he provided the link and he was going to select people. So Felix, I don't know who you might you want to select for you can just go through the comments, look at maybe someone that catches your fancy, or based on their interactions. You can just select one person, a minimum. You can select up to 10. That's up to you if you can take it.
Okay. I think Che and Ayiyu and I think Peli P and
So if you hear your name, you can just maybe drop a chat because I'm not sure so that we can tag you.
Junior Bezia.
Okay.
King you.
Thank you to our
Um,
speakers and mentors.
I don't know if it's just me, but Felix, you were breaking, so I couldn't make out all of people that you mentioned.
Okay, so yes, I said Che Ayiyu,
Okay.
Peli P, King U, and there's Junior Bezia.
All right. Thank
Yes,
you.
I think for now.
If you add your names,
Well, I mean, any applicant can reach me on LinkedIn. I think I will drop my handle, so I'm happy to answer questions and any other support. Yes.
All right. Thank
okay,
you.
so if you got selected by Felix for the one-on-one essay review, so I think I can see the names. So let me just see if I can note the names down. So if you're on the WhatsApp group, you can you can even type it on the WhatsApp group right now that you got selected by Felix. So I would see your message and I can put you in touch with Felix. I don't know if Grace is on the call so that she can see if Grace is still on the call. Before I don't think Grace is here.
Add one more. Let me add one more name. Christiana Bamidele.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you so much to our speakers and mentors. I know I didn't discuss this with you guys before, but just putting you on the spot. Thank you. So if you add your names, can also drop it on the chat that you got selected by Felix for the essay review. So I would note you and put you in touch with Felix. All right, thank you so much. For Jamil, Jamil has dropped a form. So you can fill it. Jamil would have to select you based on your responses to his questions. So make sure that your responses reflect what you are hoping to do so that you can get the opportunity to get selected. So I don't think Grace is on the call. So I think for Grace, for people who get selected by Grace, maybe I'll just give Susan the opportunity to select two people for Grace. I don't think Grace is.
Really?
Yeah, so you can just go ahead. I've texted her and she said that's all right.
Okay, so I think for Grace, I would pick Ismail Adebayo and
Moment of truth.
I found a message somewhere. I saw a question, but I can't find her surname. I'm going through the comments or the chat box. Hmm. For some reasons. Okay, just a moment, please. Yes, so Mercy Frederick.
Okay, so the two people you can type it on the group chat that you got selected by Susan for Grace's essay mentorship. All right, so who am I going to select? So first person, Abraham Afemi Kent. I've been seeing your comments since the beginning of the chat, since the beginning of the call.
What did you call his name?
Abraham Ifekam, yes, Ifekam. And okay. So if you are from other African countries, just drop a chat. Aside from Nigeria, just like drop something in chat. Let me know that I want to select people from other countries aside from Nigeria. If there's anyone here, I think at the beginning of the call we had like people from like 5 countries on the call.
Yes. And someone mentioned nobody from Ghana. Let me see if I can. Okay, yes, Susie is from Cameroon. Toya is from Namibia.
Okay, Namibia, I've seen your comments also through the call. So you're number 2, same Namibia, that's your name on Zoom. So if you're on WhatsApp, just type in the group chat that you got selected by me for the. So okay, let me see if I can take one more person. So Abraham, same Namibia, those are 2 people. Let me see one more person. Okay, Susie from Cameroon. Susie from Cameroon. So I think that's the people I can actually take. I already have some people already, my people that I already know before, so I don't want to overwhelm myself. But yeah, I have so there are some resources on the group that Susan would send and contains like videos I did and how, in fact, how I structured my essays is on YouTube. You can even search my name on YouTube to see. I got interviewed by AFM Stories. It's a YouTube channel that talks about Chevening Scholarship. Very, very valuable information. So you watch all our videos, but more specifically, you can watch my videos on how I structured my essays, both my leadership, networking, studying in the UK, and career plan. She also has some videos on some guidance on how to even review your essays by yourself from the point of a reviewer. So our essays were very useful for me during my application, and I got it on my first attempt. So Susan will send those resources after this call. And also thank you to all our speakers. Thank you, Felix. Thank you, Jamil. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Grace. And congrats to everyone who got selected for the essay review mentorship program, and those who also will get selected in the future by Jamil uh, program also. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time and for coming on to this call. So before we go, can we just all turn on our camera? So let's take a screenshot for our LinkedIn and our social media. So if you are where you can turn on your camera, so just turn on your camera. Let's take a screenshot. Where are our faces? Okay, I've seen Suzanne. Where is everyone else? Where are our faces? Turn on your camera if you can. Okay. Are we hiding? Or is it because we didn't get selected? Okay, let me just take screenshots. Oh, okay, camera is disabled by host. Oh, okay.
Oh, true.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Let me turn on camera. Yeah, so you should be able to turn on your camera now. Right, I can see your beautiful faces. Awesome, 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 awesome. I see our beautiful faces. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Okay, more people to turn on the camera if you can. Okay, let's see. Okay, taking one. So let me take. Okay. Camera one. So thank you, everyone. For coming. We are at some point we had up to like 117 people on the call, which was very, very impressive.
Mhm.
All right, so thank you, everyone. And so once the video is processed, we'll send it to you to your emails if you're on the database. So thank you to our speakers and thank you, everyone. that will be the end of today's call. And would be so if you have any other questions that didn't get answered, or if you have any other concerns, you can just drop it on the group chat, and I would ask our mentors if they would like to be added to the group chat, but otherwise, some other people can be able to answer the questions that you have. All right, everyone. Have a good day.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks.